All right, and we're live.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Where we left off. The party had just encountered a local trapper and just general outdoorsman, but due to a series of unfortunate events, at least for the trapper's side of things, they encountered the party in a less than desirable, with a less than desirable outcome. Party decided to discombobulate the individual and then impale him on a
He handled that motherfucker Bolton style.
indeed
What he deserved.
leaving him to rot on a tree branch with a carving on his chest lettering out, "Don't fuck with wolves." The party continues on its journey back to Sandpoint, finding itself in the middle of the forest, about half a day's travel from Sandpoint.
So, are we going to talk about what we did to that hunter, or...
Do you mean justice?
I don't know if anybody would call that justice, Kosh.
He was about to murder my family. Would you not do the same for yours?
I've been out of family in quite a minute, so I think that's arguing semantics.
Well, you're a soldier. You protect your village. If someone were to attack your village or your town, would you not kill people to defend it?
I do, but I also understand that the farmers have to make a livelihood as well. Are you saying that your pack doesn't prey on, livestock or animal or domesticated animals?
We do, but there's a difference. We have a code. We use every part of the animal to any way that we can.
Do you think your code
Poachers
matters to that
and
farmer
trappers
who loses money from his herd? Do you think it matters when he can't feed his children during the winter?
But he still lets most of the animal to rot. He has no respect for the animals that he's killing.
But some would say that your pack doesn't have respect for other people's livelihoods when they, frankly, what other people would call steal.
It's their livelihoods or my pack's livelihoods. As simple as that.
I don't know. I didn't see the forest having a shortage of deer.
If my pack killed any loggers, then they were just defending themselves. They don't prey on humans. It doesn't make sense for them to. They're large predatory animals.
Oi, listen here, Nightman. You're the one who finished him. Don't act all high and mighty now.
I flick Raptor.
And as you do, Raptor flies backwards into the sky, and as he is so accustomed to, begins to fall towards the ground. But then, suddenly, his wings start to flutter, and this time, they don't flutter aimlessly. Instead, he maintains his height above the ground, and he looks around in amazement and says, "Oh my, I'm a real boy! I can fly now!"
You're welcome.
And then Raptor begins to flutter around with his newly found wings, courtesy of level 5.
Tristan just kind of watches him zip around. He's like, "There's gonna be no stopping him now." Just kind of trying to track him. Shit.
We're in for it now.
Yep. Now it's mobile.
Yeah, this could be bad.
Yeah.
Mr. Nightman, you have any drugs on you?
I don't think so.
Well enough then. Raptor flutters off to look for drugs along the route home.
Pretty sure Kaj took my willow bark.
Raptor specifically did not ask Kaj for that due to the egregious gift that was gifted to Raptor. He is in bad standing with Standy Claws right now.
I forgot Standy Claws totally broken.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, I guess we're continuing onward, arguing philosophy. while Raptor searches for drugs.
Raptor, go ahead and roll a perception check.
18.
18. You look around and you find
19.
19.
Ooh.
Actually, let's find out.
Boy, there's got to be something in these bushes. Something to celebrate the moment.
All right, you
Turning from a boy
find
to a man.
you find hanging on the branch of a tree a moss that is kind of growing down. The morning dew is still dripping off of this green and brown, kind of almost a musty smelling moss.
Oh shit.
The cluster of growth is about half the size of Raptor, and as he kind of gets in, he kind of smells a bit of a moldy, a mushroomy smell, as if mushrooms have gone off and are beginning to deteriorate. And Raptor has the sense that if he were to consume this material, it might have some desired effects.
Could I do a stimulant lore check to verify my knowledge on this?
Go ahead.
Bad trips.
15.
Are you
15.
trained specifically in stimulant? Oh my god.
I am.
Incredible.
When you've grown up in the woods, huff and paint your whole life, you get pretty good at figuring out what's good and not.
You recall hearing a story from an elderly gentleman in your tribe about this particular plant. Though you can't recall its exact effects, it had something to do with a contracted disease through intimate relations. But you can't recall if it helped or hindered such contractions.
Oh my god, don't tell me you found the chlamydia drugs.
Oi, this looks familiar. Is that the mosseria?
You recall it as being the old man called it old man's beard.
Perfect. Raptor is going to examine it for a brief moment before eating it, examining it to show character growth and aging as he is in puberty now and developed. Impulse control, we're working on it. Raptor throws it back. Let's see what happens.
As you chomp down on it, you really smell and sensations of moldy mushrooms really impress upon your senses. It almost tastes like something akin to a mushroom stew that has been sat out for over a month. The sensation kind of flows through you and kind of goes down into your stomach, and your stomach begins to quiver and quake to a discomforting effect.
Uh-oh.
Am I high yet?
You perceive the world as you did before, but now you feel a little bit more impregnable.
Oh, very nice. I am going to go ahead and grab some dirt off the ground, post up on a horse, and make some healing plaster, which is the magic mud that I can eat that heals me, and hopefully that will do the trick.
All right, go ahead. Roll a healing or crafting check.
No crafting check for it. It's just a cantrip that I can do that takes 10 minutes.
All right.
But medicine check to see if it works.
Go ahead and roll a medicine.
Boom, boom. 11 plus 11, 22.
All right, that'll do it.
Am I still impregnable?
You feel like the effects have kind of washed away.
Well, I remember that one now. That's the horny moss.
We haven't gone through puberty yet. Wouldn't you, like, not be impregnable yet?
Raptor looks at you for a moment, puzzled by this conundrum, and then, it's different for us fairies. You wouldn't understand. We're horny from the moment we pop out. It doesn't do anything, but we're still horny.
Raptor, have you ever had relations with a female fae?
What is this word?
Relations, Tristan makes like a crude hand gesture.
Raptor kind of mimics.
Yes. Have you put your nethers into her nethers?
Oh, like this? And Raptor sticks his tongue out and goes, ah!
Oh, my son, we have... When we get back to Sandpoint, we're going to have a talk.
Sounds good, Mr. Night Man. And Raptor hops onto Robin and starts flying around, horny as hell.
Tristan's just sitting there like, I gotta teach him how to say my name.
All right. As you continue your ride on the road back to Sandpoint, Kaj's horse kind of kicks up a bit and rears back. And Kaj, go ahead and roll a athletics check.
It's the fuck. Oh. That would be 15.
All right. You manage to stay on your horse, but you hear from behind you a clank of wood and stone on the ground. And a little bit of metal, kind of the sound of metal kind of rolling around on the ground. Tristan and Raptor, go ahead and roll a perception check. And Kaj as well, with disadvantage.
25.
15 in total.
16.
Raptor, you notice that from Kaj's pack, a wood enclosure falls to the ground, and a whetstone or a sharpening stone erupts from it. Though you also notice a silver-looking bauble kind of rolling down the road, adjacent to the horse's tracks.
This is... Okay, so a thing fell out of his pack, and there is a bauble rolling down the road.
Right, so something fell from his pack. It looks like it was a whetstone in a wood case, but from that whetstone in a wood case, a silver-looking bauble is now rolling down the road.
Raptors... Am I the only one that sees it?
You are the only one that sees it.
Is it in front of the group or behind the group now?
It's rolling kind of parallel with the group. So it's kind of like a coin that you drop on the ground, and it kind of rolls on the ground a little bit. Rolls for about a yard and a half, and then it clinks down. It looks like it's a ring of some sort.
Raptor's going to go ahead and swoop down and gracefully dismount off of Robin, fluttering to the ground with his new wings, and give that a little inspection.
All right.
Now you're just showing off.
Oh, for sure.
So as you... are you inspecting the ring or the...
The ring.
The silver-looking ring? Okay.
Yeah.
So as you flutter down, you find a ring that is about the size of a necklace for you. Normal finger-sized ring for anybody else, but for you it'd be about the size of a necklace. And it seems to be a fairly simple ring, made out of silver. But you notice an engraving on the inner band, an engraving that reads, "Banny and Catherine, together forever."
All right. I'm going to go ahead and grab that and hold it behind my back. Very, very conspicuously. And then with one arm, point out and say, Standy, you dropped your whetstone.
Oh. Well, thank you. Take it up.
So you pick up the whetstone.
You get
Kaj,
the
are you
box,
picking
too?
up the the whetstone, or are you picking up the ring from Raptor?
Just the whetstone. I don't think I see the ring, unless he's not very inconspicuous.
I am definitely trying to hide it from him.
Okay. So, Kaj, you pick up the whetstone, and you notice that its wood casing now has what seems to be kind of a carving or an area that's been carved out where a piece of wood could be slid in to make for a secret compartment on the wood casing of the whetstone. This is the same whetstone that you took from Banny Harker,
From who?
the person that put the wanted posters up for the wolves the night before.
Oh, okay.
The prick, the young guy.
Yeah, okay. I'm definitely gonna examine that shit.
What did I see?
Would you roll?
A 19.
You saw him drop the whetstone, and you didn't see the ring. But that's about it. You heard and saw the clank of the whetstone and its case kind of break open its two halves. It's kind of clamshell halves, and the whetstone being revealed underneath. But beyond that, nothing much. Though you do see Kaj picking it back up and putting it back together and examining it a little bit further.
Am I noticing how shifty he's looking?
Kaj or
Who, me?
Raptor.
Nothing to hide. Just scratching my ass.
You saw him kind of move forward and pass the whetstone after something on the ground, but you don't see what he picked up, and he does seem a bit more shifty now.
Right. Would I have to roll to investigate, or
What are you trying to do?
just kind of gauge like how shady? Like, am I like, it's par for the course for Raptor, or am I like, what are you up to?
Are you trying to look a little bit deeper?
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of just be like, all right, what's going on? You're acting stranger than normal, and that's saying something.
Roll a perception check.
18. You
notice him try to conceal something underneath his cloak, but you don't see what he's trying to conceal. I'm gonna reach over and just pick him up by his middle, like just kind of like, and come here, and hold it like a kid holds an action figure. All right.
I thought we'd been over this. I don't much appreciate that.
I don't know what you appreciate very much right now. What are you hiding behind your back?
I desperately flutter my wings to try and escape.
I grip even harder.
Oh no!
Tristan,
I found this on the ground. I found this. And I present the ring.
All right.
Was that
It
so
popped
hard?
out of the stone.
Was that so hard?
Well, I thought it looked nice and I want it.
I'm gonna and like take a look at the ring.
Upon examining the ring, you notice it to be a pretty plain and simple ring, but you see the engraving inside that reads, Banny and Catherine, together forever.
Well, Raptor, if you wanted a ring, this is a pretty basic looking one. It's probably not even worth that much. They have nicer loot back at the house.
I like the drawing on it though.
You mean the engraving?
Yeah, the drawing. There's cool lines on it.
Oh, that's.
Wait,
Can you read?
What's written on the inside?
Benny and Catherine together forever.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Who is this Catherine then?
Well,
Banny
judging
is the man that I stole the Whetstone from. So
well, judging
He
by,
has
I'm gonna
a
hand
significant
Raptor back
other.
the ring, like to be like, you can hang on to this for now.
Well, now that I'm a growing boy turning into a man, my best guess, Mr. Standy Claus, is that they are lovers.
I would agree.
I would say that they're married if they're wearing rings, or at the very least engaged.
Indeed,
But-
indeed.
Considering has a ring, it's safe to assume that this Catherine's his wife.
The ring itself looks to be a little bit on the small side. If you try, Tristan, if you try to kind of put it on your own ring, it's a little bit small. Might be a pinky ring for you.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, so it's actually, is it like a band, or is it like an engagement ring?
It appears to be a pretty simple band. No
Mhm.
stones or anything beyond that. But you know that just from... Well, go ahead and roll a lore check. Just straight lore check.
Great lore.
So if you...
Yeah, I just have a +1 to that.
Yeah.
That's a 4.
All right, so you really don't remember much with regard to what this or any other ring really signifies.
I wouldn't. It's some kind of ring. Like, I mean, if they were just lovers, you wouldn't really be handing out jewelry to your lovers saying together forever, but it could be an engagement or it could be a marriage ring. I have no way of telling, really. But I mean, it does warrant further investigation.
Now, are you sure that that's not a headband?
That's not her, man.
No, I said a headband, like a crown.
I mean, it
And
might
then
be.
I take it and I put it on my head like a crown,
Does it fit?
or just
How-
like a tiara sitting right on top of my head.
You're what, 8 inches? Yeah, it actually fits about the size of a silver band crown, kind of a simple silver crown.
Yo, you need to
This
keep that
is
on your head.
beautiful.
What?
Yo, he's got to keep that now. I guess. I mean,
I love it.
I mean, it's a crown for you.
Well, you reckon we should? You saying that Banny is the bad man with the posters, the one who we murdered in the woods? Yes. Oh no, that was a different person. Oh, okay. Well, Banny's the one who sent them, then, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then let's go kill his wife, I suppose.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa.
There's limits
Whoa.
here.
Raptor looks
Whoa.
around, confused. What?
Whoa,
What? We should send a message now.
whoa, easy there.
Okay,
Look.
then let's go kill Banny. I'll put him on a tree too.
Listen, protecting Kaj's family is one thing. Going around killing honest folk just trying to make a few civilians to make ends meet is a whole nother thing entirely.
Well, the way I see it is
And
any
listen, my
enemy of the
moral-
wolves is an enemy of mine. Kaj's family or otherwise.
Oh my god, look. You're treating symptoms, not the disease. If you take out this Banny, another one is only gonna pop up a few weeks later. If we really want to get to this, if we're really concerned about saving Kaj's family and not just shedding blood willy-nilly, we need to take out the Scarnettis. They're the ones who
I
are.
agree.
Oh, Netties.
if-
Oh, yeah, he said that name back in the tavern. Yes, I remember.
They're in charge of the foresting productions, so if this is really something worth investigating and worth taking care of,
It
then
is.
we're going to have to see what we can do there.
Well, then, Tristan, he says very laboredly, like he's trying to sound it out. I suppose we can refrain from killing Banny's wife,
Very appreciated, Raptor. Very appreciated.
but I would love to do something about these humans constantly invading the woods. There's so many poor innocent animals that are being lost all the time.
Humans
That's why
need,
I came, you know?
humans need to eat just as much as animals do.
I understand, but it's wasteful.
Hmm.
It's sad.
There's a way to live symbiotically with nature. But, unfortunately, I don't know if we'll ever achieve it. Animals live, humans live, and one group is always going to need more than the other. On both sides.
Raptor's pretty visibly disgusted by the idea of humans needing more than animals. And just kind of turns and shakes his head and climbs back onto Robin and flies up to the sky.
Tristan just kind of shakes his head. He's like, I can. All I can do is try.
All right. After about half a day's journey, you return to Sandpoint. It's about midday, early afternoon, and it looks like the shops are open. Commerce is running per the usual as you return to Sandpoint.
Well, we still have some daylight left. What do you want to do?
We could go to the tavern and show off my new crown while we get hammered.
Well, considering we had a long day's work, let's go stable the horses, drop off our excess gear at home, and go get hammered.
Yes!
Works for me.
All right, so I guess we go drop off the horses at the stable and go get hammered. Go to the tavern to get hammered. But are we going to the Hagfish or are we going to the Rusty Dragon?
I'm all about the hagfish.
He's all right. I guess. Raptor, have we introduced you to the? Have we shown you to the Hagfish yet?
Is that the one where Standy was making that shady deal with that man?
Have you met Nora yet?
Oh, Nora. I don't think I've... Was she the one that gave me that beautiful mushroom?
Oh, no. Kaj, we need to introduce young Raptor to Nora, don't we?
The horny pills are starting to wear off, and Raptor starts saying, Nora, ooh.
Well, we'll introduce you to Nora. She's a fine young lady, Nora.
So that sounds like a plan to me, then.
Tristan snickers to himself under his breath. All right, I guess we go to the Hagfish.
All right, you make your way to the Hagfish, a relatively shackened tavern and bar in town on the edge of the Sandpoint Harbor. Mostly known for its seafood delights. It is, at the moment, filled with predominantly some sailors that are a little bit light on work or a little bit have a little bit more extra time on their hands. It's a little early in the day for most working men, but you get the sense and you get the feeling that this is kind of the quote unquote blue collar of town. A lot of the working folks, everyone from sailors to shipbuilders to rope makers and just general craftsmen, frequent this bar at least in the evenings. At the moment, it's a little bit light on patrons. It doesn't look like there's too many people about. A couple of sailors enjoying drinks in the corner, and Jerky Quinn looks like he raises an eyebrow upon your approach as he's tending bar and cleaning a few glasses behind the bar.
Quinn, good to see you.
Hi, and fine to see you, Tristan. How have things been?
Well, you know, work comes, work goes. It's not too bad. We picked up a little new associate here. This is Raptor.
Hi, where's the Raptor? All I see is your friend Kaj.
Hello there. As I
Oh,
pop up
Jesus
from-
Christ! Little guy.
From Kaj's shoulder. 3 drinks, please.
No.
Yeah.
We need to introduce Raptor has yet to meet Nora.
I'd like to meet Nora with 3 drinks, please.
Aye, we can certainly arrange that. Don't you worry. Well, I think we ought to have him meet Nora first. Don't you think,
Cool.
boys?
I definitely think we need to have him meet Nora first.
Well, as excited
I
as
think
I am
so.
to meet Nora, I would also love me a drink.
We'll get you a drink. You have yet to meet Nora. You wouldn't want to insult the lady at the pub.
Fine, Dad.
Here's the great thing about meeting Nora. You get to both meet Nora and have a drink at the same time.
Oh, beautiful.
There's
Tristan
When-
looks like he wants to smear him against the bar for that dad comment. Just kind of hovering like, I only would have to smack him just like a bug.
I love how frail and reckless Raptor is. I don't expect to survive very long, to be honest.
All right. We're meeting Nora.
There is one small caveat before you meet Nora. It's gonna cost you 1 silver piece.
Why don't we make it a gold and you got yourself a deal? I slap a gold down on the table.
I pick up the gold and I swap it out with a silver piece.
Boy, that was for Nora.
I grab him by a wing, kind of give him a like basically Tristan's only equivalent of smacking him upside the head and just being like,
Oh, okay. Fine.
Jarkin, he takes the silver piece from the table and puts it into a small leather coin pouch that's hanging on a rusty nail behind the bar. The pouch itself seems a little bit light from the first time that you've seen it, but certainly has increased in size and girth since in the last couple of weeks. Right, well, you boys sit down at a table and I'll have your drinks to you shortly.
all right then. Let's go find a table.
All right.
What about Nora?
You'll meet her in a bit.
I'll send her over.
Perfect.
And as the 3 of you kind of move over and take a couple of seats at a circular table on one side of the bar, Darkin Quinn is shortly behind you. You hear a thud, tap, thud, tap, thud, tap, as he walks over to your table with one leg clearly made of wood, in fact, a pirate classic style peg leg, as he kind of meanders over and places 3 drinks in front of you. Tristan and Kaj, you appear to have the house ale in front of you. And Raptor, you find yourself with a drink that's a little bit more bubbly, oozy, and a bit darker in color than you had originally anticipated.
Boy, this looks like the strong stuff, but
Drink up,
Where's-
Raptor, my boy.
where's Nora at?
She'll be around shortly. Don't you worry.
Oh,
Once you
Okay,
drink,
then.
once you enjoy your drink, we'll make sure you meet Nora. Here's
well, that sounds like a plan to me. And Raptor just sends it.
Wait,
Is it like
roll
a
a-
full size? Hold on, is this a Raptor size drink or like a pint?
it's a half pint. He filled a pint for Kaj and Tristan. Raptor, you have about a half pint. Roll a perception check.
Oh, 19 plus 13, 20, 33, 32.
You definitely know the drink in front of you is not ale and not an alcoholic substance. It seems more like water, kind of a putrefied water. But you also have this. You kind of like look at Jerkin, and he looks back at you with a huge grin on his face, and you just have the feeling, maybe I should just drink this. What could go wrong?
Can I definitely tell there's something really shady about this?
Oh yeah.
In that case, I would like to cast Bottomless Stomach on myself. Bottomless Stomach is a spell that creates a portal in my mouth to a realm that holds a lot of shit. And I can basically put a lot of shit in there.
All right.
And then I throw it back right into my portal realm. And okay.
All right. Go ahead and roll a fortitude save.
Oh, it's that dangerous, huh? 14 plus 9, 23.
23. You throw the entire half pint back, and you feel a rush of kind of a taste and a sensation that you've never quite experienced before. As you draw the cup back, a string of gelatinous mucus crosses from your mouth to the edge of the glass, and you suddenly taste a kind of a putrid, tar-like gooey substance that's kind of sticks in the back of your throat and almost seems to cover your esophagus kind of as it's kind of rolling down your stomach. Your innards kind of begin to twist and tighten, and you feel like kind of a tightening at the lower end of your stomach, in your abdomen, and you kind of like squeeze the end of the table, trying to kind of hold back anything that's coming up. But after a moment, your eyes begin to bulge and your tongue kind of begins to swell. And from the back of your throat, a black mucus erupts from your very intestines and flows onto the table. This mucus muck covers the table, and the string of gelatinous slime continues to erupt from the table to your mouth, and you still are tasting this monstrous taste unlike anything you've ever had before. And you kind of turn back to Jarkin as he's attending bar at the table, and he pulls another half pint from under the cupboard, fills it up from a black oozing kind of tar pit of a tank but that is situated behind the bar, and he raises up to, "Would you like another?"
My bottomless stomach didn't catch any of it.
It caught all of it, but you still failed the fortitude save.
Oh.
Yeah, you're feeling all right there, Raptor.
Bring me another. And then Raptor just face plants on the table and takes a moment to recollect himself and stands up, waves his hand.
He said he wanted another.
One more. If I can meet Nora after this.
Well, the boy says he wants another.
Boy says he wants another. Tristan raises his tankard and just slowly sips, like, obviously, like, overdoing how much he's enjoying his ale. He's like, he wants another.
All right, well, here you go, laddie. And he plops another half pint of this black, oozing tar substance in front of you.
So my bottomless stomach is still active.
Right.
I think to myself
it
that
still has to pass kind of past your tongue to make it to the stomach.
Right.
And
Raptor thinks to himself that maybe this time it'll work though, and just sends it.
All right, go roll another fortitude save.
Well, if 26 didn't do it, then this will not either. 18.
This time, the effect was a little bit more immediate. As soon as the black ooze touches your tongue, what contents was left of the first take erupts onto the table, and you kind of begin to dry heave as your body just contracts in and out, trying to rid itself of this alien poison.
Water, please. Water and dirt. I need dirt and water.
Jargon slides you a half pint of the house ale. No water.
Dirt and water, please.
No
Give
water
me
here.
dirt. I
Ale
need some
only.
dirt. Okay, please bring me some dirt, please.
He kind of takes a knife.
Stop being a wimp, Raptor. Just drink the ale.
Raptor starts drinking the ale, gets one sip in, feels marginally better enough to speak. I need some dirt, please. Please bring me some dirt.
Tristan pulls
Jarkin,
off his glove and just starts picking dirt out of his fingernails.
Jarkin takes the knife from his hip and kind of flays off some of the mud and grime and whatever else off the bottom side of his boot onto a plate and puts it in front of Raptor. There we go, laddie. There's some fine dirts and other incorporants.
Raptor starts making a healing plaster out of that.
All right.
It takes 10 minutes, so he works frantically.
Tristan just kind of sprinkles some of the dirt from his fingernails onto it.
Thank you.
You're looking a little green there, Raptor. You're all right.
Oh, who are you calling green?
You're looking a little green. You're looking a little green around the gills.
I'm always green.
A little green, a little sickly.
And he goes back to building this thing.
Well, while you do that, little laddie, I think it's about time to meet Nora. Don't you think, boys?
I think so.
Oh, not like this. Hold on. And Raptor is dry heaving and forming a clump of dirt together. No, I can't meet Nora like this.
Oh, Raptor. Nora's met plenty like this. In fact, I would dare say this is the only way to meet Nora.
All right, then. Keep working on my dirt.
All right. Jarkin, he kind of wafts over back to the bar and kind of signals at Raptor. Would you like to meet Nora? And he begins to tap on the glass 1, 2, 3 times. And he taps again once, twice. And you see a movement erupt from the black, the muck, the swamp water that you just consumed. And from the bowels of the tank, a set of suctioned teeth erupts and then pins itself to the glass. A snake-like animal kind of flays back and forth. And at this point, you realize with the huge shit-eating grin that Jarkin has on his face that something is not quite right.
Look over at Standy Claws. Raptor starts crying as he's dry heaving. Standy, why'd you let them trick me after you gave me shit, Willow? I thought you cared about the kids, but maybe I'm not a boy anymore. And he looks over to his wings. I don't know what I am. And he drops down to the bench and then to the floor, crying and sad, and wanders off into the bar.
Oh, I'm gonna go after him.
Tristan's laughing his ass off.
All right. So, Kaj, you go after him. What are you going to do?
There. I thought you'd be able to handle the hagfish water, considering how much poison you ingest. I'm sorry.
You could have warned me.
Where's the fun in that?
In my defense, before you took a swig, I tried to, and you took it really quick.
Raptor just starts crying even harder.
Can I get an ale for my friend here? A small one.
Jarkin pours a house ale for a regular ale for Yukaj, and then a half pint for Raptor, and lays them in front of you.
Here you go, little guy. Wash the taste out of your mouth.
Raptor swigs it back, but it all goes into his bottomless stomach, so he barely even tastes this ale. Or he tastes it, but it does not hit his stomach. And he is disappointed, remembering that this spell is still active, and cries for another moment, then thinks, well, I suppose now's the perfect time for a drinking contest. And then goes around the bar looking for a person to challenge to a drinking contest.
All right, so it looks like the bar is a little bit Spartan at the moment. It's kind of earlier in the day, just mid-afternoon or so. But it looks like there's a few patrons that are enjoying drinks at various tables. Kind of an elderly, thin gentleman. Looks like kind of an old sailor type, the old salty kind, with large, kind of gray beard. In fact, it looks like he has what appears to be bits of salt kind of crystallized on his beard. On the other side of the bar, you see a kind of a younger, pudgier individual, probably about his mid-20s, kind of reddish of hair that falls down to about his mid-back. Pretty stout guy, probably weighing in about 250 or so pounds. Looks like he's about 6 foot or so. And then you also see a more put together individual, someone a little bit more sleek, kind of black hair, sleeked back with some sort of oil or grease, pretty well kempt, and finely manicured mustache.
Who's the toughest looking guy in this bar?
Toughest looking guy in terms of probably the person with the slicked back hair and finely combed mustache. He seems like he's probably the most capable in a fight.
Raptor looks at him for a moment, and then while contemplating slaughtering this dude in a drinking contest, he looks around the bar and realizes it's pretty sparse and that he won't get the attention that he's craving from this activity right now. So he wipes the tears away. He looks over to Kaj, says, later tonight, we turn this bar into a party. And then flutters up onto Kaj's shoulders, dispels the bottomless stomach, and drinks the rest of that ale.
All right.
Sounds like a plan, my friend.
Tristan leans across the bar and goes, so anything happened while we were gone?
Oh, you're talking to the bartender?
Yes.
Well, as a matter of fact, a little bit did happen while you're out. Seems that someone's actually looking for you.
Really?
Well, I shouldn't say you, but your compatriots.
Which ones?
Kaj, in particular.
Really? Who?
Banny. Banny came around asking if I had seen you and Kaj in particular. It seems that he has something he wants to talk about, or he didn't really go into details.
What What have you seen? Is Benny Hunt here usually? About how long ago did Benny come in here looking for us?
Well, they came in here this morning, asking if I'd seen the lot of you, but knowing him, he's probably at the lumber mill right about now. Works down there, you know.
Any inkling as to what he wanted?
Didn't say.
Right then. You'd know better than I do. You have eyes and ears all over this town. You know the score. What kind of a man is this Benny?
Let me bring up my notes.
The cut of his jib.
Well, Benny's a little bit of well, he's a nice fellow, you know, through and through, but a little bit of a penny pincher, if you ask me. Anytime he comes in, he's never one to gamble. Always one to enjoy a drink, maybe two, on the end of a long week, but never one to indulge. I heard that from some of the other patrons that he's saving up for something or another. Has a little bit of a sweetheart, I've heard.
Catherine. Yes?
Well, It's a bit of a rumor around here, but not one that you'd want to repeat in front of Catherine's father.
Who's Catherine's father?
He owns the general store in town.
Oh. And Benny is not someone he would want for his daughter?
Well, Vinder, he's a nice chap, don't get me wrong, but he's a bit protective when it comes to his daughters. You know, his two daughters, one, well, I'm not one to pass potentially false rumors, but I heard that his eldest liked the company of men more often than her father would like.
So she was promiscuous.
That's one way to put it, yes. And unfortunately, Catherine, being the younger of the two, has had to endure the sufferings of her elder. Their father is a bit, if you ask me, a bit overprotective, but at the same time, Benny, fine lad, yes, of course, fine lad, but not necessarily the one you'd want your daughter to marry, if you know what I mean.
Is he a libertine or just a lout?
Well, he's a hard worker, which I can respect that, but he's not exactly a man of means. He works for the Scarnetti, and while he does his best, he tries to earn enough, but doesn't have.
A father wants more for his daughters.
There it is. I think Vinder, if it were up to him, probably see his daughters in the hands of maybe a small business owner in town, not
a laborer.
Not a log mill manager.
Understandable, I suppose. Maybe not necessarily right.
Oh, I agree entirely, but you know, that's Vinder for you.
It is a father's right to. I suppose it is a father's right to look after his daughter's interests.
And he tries his best, Ven Vinder, but again, he's just a tad overprotective, if you ask me.
What of the girl's mother?
Well, that's the unfortunate thing. I think they lost their mother some years ago, and I'm sure you've heard of it, the late unpleasantness, and he kind of bends over and begins to whisper. It's not something that we like to talk about here in town too much, but the chopper, unfortunately, had his way with her and chopped her up into little bits, and Well,
no need to revisit potentially painful memories. Yes.
well, not painful for me per se, but it's you try to respect others in town.
Sensitivity around society.
Yeah.
Of course. Of course.
But
Well,
that's probably why he's tad overprotective these days.
of course.
But I can't blame the little lasses. They are young and they do things that are not exactly. They do ill-advised
We
things.
were all young once.
Yeah, of course we are. But I would keep an eye out for Banny. He's when you talked about your friend Kaj, he wasn't exactly in the best of moods.
That's why I carry a sword, my friend.
Ah, indeed. Well, it's a good thing we have lads like you walking these streets.
Well, I'll do my best. Hopefully, I won't lose this one.
Did you lose that one?
Unfortunately, bit off a little more than I could chew, and recently had to kind of go and get it back.
No, well, at least you recovered it.
Yeah,
It's more than I could say for some folks.
Yeah.
Well, is anything else you wanted?
No, that's. Thank you for passing that along. I slipped the gold piece that Raptor put down on the bar over to him.
Well, that's very kind of you. Very kind indeed. Thank you.
All right, I'll go. If you don't mind, give the boys another round. I'll go talk. I'll go keep Raptor. I think Raptor's feeling it after his little introduction with Nora. So keep the boy well soaked, and I'm gonna go pass this along to Kaj.
Should I break out some of the really good stuff?
I will. I'll put down another gold piece and just kind of like take it easy on the boy.
He kind of winks at your way, and pull. You can kind of see him pour a kind of a darker ale in a half-pint glass, along with a couple of house ales for you and Kaj.
I'm gonna go grab. Is he gonna bring him to us, or do I have to grab him and bring him back?
It looks like he's going to bring him to you.
I'm gonna go back to the table and kind of tap Kaj on the shoulder and be like, "We need to talk real quick."
All right, well, let's talk then.
So apparently, the lad who he's looking for you, Benet.
Benny. Oh. Well, that could be an issue.
According to the bartender, he wasn't exactly in the bed. It wasn't exactly chipper to see you either.
Well, any way to get to Scarnetti is fine by me. So if we need to start with this Benny, then I'm happy with that.
Yes.
It does concern me what happened in the woods if he somehow suspects us.
I do think we need to kind of. Did you bring your weapons with you? Did you just drop off your main, all of our travel gear with you?
Yes, I still have my weapons.
Okay. I would advise us all going armed. I don't have much to fear from a log mill manager in a fight, but men have friends. So if it comes to swords, I'd rather we be prepared.
That sounds good.
All right, but we might want to find him down at the log mill after we finish up our next round of drinks here.
Sounds like a plan.
Where's Raptor? Is Raptor here? Or is he just
Oi, what are you talking about?
All right, stay here. We're gonna go somewhere. We're gonna get some better booze in you, and we're gonna have it. We're gonna have you taken care of in just a moment.
Oh joy!
At about that point, the bartender kind of rolls around with a couple extra pints, some of the house ale for Tristan and Kaj, along with a darker, very spicy scented ale for Raptor, half pint.
This is another one of your tricks again. I'll turn this place into rats. The whole place, nothing but rats.
Just drink the pint. If I sipped it first, would you feel better?
I will not share my drink with you.
Drink
Trickster.
the
Raptor throws it back. He is convinced.
As you kind of throw it back, you get the hint of cloves and cinnamon and allspice, and in a kind of a chocolatey espresso sort of palate. And as soon as you drink it, you almost regret throwing it back so quickly, having not enjoyed it full.
Could I get another one of those, please?
Ah, you certainly can, lad.
I look over to Kaj and Tristan. Are we going soon, or can I?
You can
Should I get this for the road, or should I?
You
Slam
can
it
have
in?
another drink and then we'll head out.
Perfect.
And Kaj and Tristan, both of you roll a fortitude save.
Oh boy.
I have a 25.
Natural one.
All right. Kaj, you feel a little bit queasy, a little bit, felt like that last drink hit you a little harder than you were anticipating. And you feel a tad bit more inebriated than you had intended to be.
Oh geez, guys, that was a little much for me.
Oh. Are you good? Should we take you home and have you sleep it off?
I'm good. I'm not as drunk as you drunk I am.
Oi there, Standy Claus. You like to party then, eh? You need some help? You want to feel better? I got something for that.
Yes.
I hand him the half-crafted pile of dirt that I have, as I got distracted drinking and forgot to finish concocting it into something actually useful. And I hand him a pile of dirt.
By Yomade, how's that supposed to help then?
Oh, it's magical, eh?
Is it? Looks like
You won't understand. You're not a fucking fairy. You're just a big man with armor and a sword.
I'm gonna go ahead and spec this for anything that makes sense to me herbally.
I look at Raptor and I'm like, it looks like a pile of dirt, part of which I picked out of my fingernails.
Until I made it
Do
magic.
an herbalism check.
Cool. So that is 31. Oh, herbalism. Hold up. I was thinking perception.
Magical about pile of dirt.
I'm doing an herbalism check.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, then 26.
You get the feeling that if you were to consume this in one way or another, that it would probably have ill-advised effects, given that it's only half magically crafted.
Well, my little fairy friend, you can go ahead and keep your dirt. I'll sleep. I'll be all right.
Very well then, Standy. If you need help, I have another method. Though it's dire times, dire methods, you know. Just give me the holder if you need me to crawl down in there and bring that back up for you.
I don't know what you mean by where, and I don't want to. Please don't crawl down anything that belongs to me.
Just drink
As you wish, Standy.
Just drink it. Just drink your ale. Raptor, just drink your ale. And don't shoot it back this time.
Raptor sips this delicious brew.
It is indeed a delicious brew. One that is more delectable to your palate than any ale you've ever tasted.
Oh, damn, that is delicious. Could I get 3 of these for the road, please? Actually, scratch that, make it 6.
Oh, bloody hell. Cut him off.
For the road, I won't drink it all
Cut him
immediately.
off.
Well, a little laddie like you, and the bartender kind of pops his head over, don't know that you'll be able to handle 6 of these.
Well, I'd just like a pint for my friends then. And I wink to the bartender.
And he winks back. Hey, as long as you're paying, we can do that.
That sounds
gesturing
perfect.
behind him like,
The bartender seems a bit more inclined to fill out drinks than to listen to you, Tristan. The boy.
I throw 2 gold pieces onto the table.
Aye. 2 ales for the lad. All right, then. And he throws down 2 more drinks for you.
Oi, that will do. Do you have to-go cups by chance? Got a lid for that?
That might be you might be able to arrange that. Though, not supposed to be drinking on the streets, so you have to drink it here.
Well, easy enough.
Take a knee, Raptor, and drinks.
Can I cast the same spell twice in the same day? It's just a matter of spell slots. Is that how that works?
I wouldn't blow slots now.
It depends on how many prepared spells. Oh wait, you're a druid.
Yeah, I'm fucking magic.
Slots. So you don't prepare. I don't think you prepare spells. So yeah, I think so actually.
Perfect. In that case, I cast my Bottomless Stomach and I throw that whole pint into it immediately, and then I go back to sipping the one that I am currently working on.
All right. And since it goes right over your tongue and you don't really ingest it in the normal manner, you don't have to take your fortitude saves.
Perfect.
All right. After Raptor consumes his beverages and is kind of continuing to sip on the last one, what do the rest of you do?
I get up to continue on our way. I guess we're heading to that logging mill to go find Bene.
All right.
I'll do the same.
I think at this point we'll go ahead and take a quick break and then continue on the adventure.
Cool.
And we are back.
Hell yeah.
All right, the party's making their way to the Sandpoint lumber mill. You traipse through the town. It's kind of beginning to work into the evening hours, right about the time that people are beginning to end their shifts for the day. You see in front of you the mill, a well-built wooden structure with pretty thick walls and roof of wooden shingles. The doors seem to be made of simple timber and appear to be unlocked. You hear the rumble and rustle of the saw blades from within, even from a couple of blocks out. It seems that the lumber mill is continuing to be in operation, even kind of towards the end of the day.
All right, I'm going to look around, see if I can't pick out, the head man here, or find Bene.
All right. So, where are you doing that from? Outside, or have you made your way in?
I'm just gonna kind of make my way in and kind of glance about.
All right. As you make your way through the door, you kind of hear, as you kind of open the door, the echoing of the rumble of the sawmill being powered by the adjacent waterway. You kind of hear what sounds like two, maybe 3 men, kind of talking amongst themselves and kind of barking orders at each other as they're kind of heaving and hawing. It sounds like they're putting in quite a bit of effort to move what you presume to be large pieces of timber. Though they're not in your line of sight at the moment. Looks like directly in front of you, is just a kind of a long hallway with a closed interior door, double door.
I'm gonna burst through the double doors. Well, not like burst through, but just kind of push my way through and see, like, okay, let's see what's next.
And as you're doing this, Kaj and Raptor, what are you doing?
Real quick, how long did it take us to walk from the bar to this location? Because my stomach pouch is only good for an hour.
It only took you about 5 or 10 minutes.
Perfect. I am just chilling on Kaj's shoulder.
And Kaj, what are you doing?
I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna search for Benny.
Alongside Tristan?
Yeah. I'll be right alongside Tristan.
All right.
Study, what are we doing here?
Well, the person that is working with Scarnetti, the logging man, we believe that he's here and he's looking for me. So we're interested to see what he has to say.
All right. So as you open up the double doors, you have to push them a little bit harder than you originally anticipated. It seems like they're pretty well built, pretty heavy doors. And as you push through, the echoing of the rumble of the machinery ends, and all you hear is kind of a roar of the blade sawing through a piece of fresh timber. In front of you, you see Banny Harker and Ibern Thorne manning the lumber mill. It looks like Banny is kind of taking point and giving most of the orders to Ibern Thorne. After, it doesn't look like, given the sound of the machinery moving and they're kind of focusing on that, it doesn't look like they've noticed your arrival just yet.
I'm going to lean just slightly on my sword. One, to kind of just be like, if this guy's gonna come at me and try to size up who's got the bigger dick, I'm gonna let him know that I have a weapon. And then I'm also, just kind of look casual, and I'm just gonna go, like, just whistle and be like, Benny!
All right. So as you cry out, Benny turns his shoulder and he looks at you initially, Tristan, but his eyes immediately are drawn towards Kaj. And he drops what he's doing. Iborn yells at Banny, Banny, what are you doing? And as a piece of timber runs through the sawmill off kilter and kind of saws off a disproportionately large piece of wood.
Mm-hmm.
Banny makes a beeline for Kaj, ignoring Tristan entirely.
I'm going to clothesline him.
All right. Go ahead and roll a unarmed attack.
Wait. That's a 5 plus my 15 is a 20, right?
Let's see what you have.
Oh, wait. No, that's for my actual... Yeah.
So your proficiency with unarmed attack would be...
Yeah. It's different than my actual weapons.
That's going to be a plus 11.
Oh,
Or
so
no, a
it's
plus 14. Plus 14.
19 then.
All right. So you successfully clothesline him as he walks towards Kaj. As he kind of falls back, he kind of looks like you kind of hit him right square on the nose, and his nose begins to bleed out. And he kind of grabs at his nose. As he kind of begins to recover, Ibern runs over and looks at the scene, Banny on the floor, and looks at you, Tristan, and looks at Kaj. Ibern yells at you, Tristan, "What the hell was all that about?
Why was your friend bum rushing mine?
I haven't any idea, but..." And he seems to be a shock. Ibern, actually... Ibern being a little bit younger, looks like he's a tad bit younger than Banny Harker, darker in kind of complexion as well as kind of hairline.
Mm.
He seems just a little bit unsure of the situation, not quite sure how to proceed. Banny comes back kind of recovers himself and returns to an upright position. His nose bleeding, ignoring Tristan entirely again, and looking at Kaj. He goes again at Kaj, unarmed, and actually, everyone roll a perception check.
24. No, wait. 26.
32.
You're muted, Kaj.
You're muted.
26.
All right, he seems to be unarmed as he makes his way towards Kaj, yelling out, "You stole my damn ring! What are you thinking, you furry little bastard?"
Oh, hell no.
I can't say I know what you're talking about.
I'm going to cock my head over my shoulder. Is he running has he run past me?
So the two of you are kind of shoulder and... You and Kaj are kind of shoulder and shoulder, so he's making his way towards Kaj, so he's not really running past you, but he is kind of adjacent to you. He's about 5 feet from you at this point.
Yeah. I'm gonna look at Kaj and be like, let me settle this one down. And then I crack my knuckles. I'm going to stare at Benny and be like, listen, Benny, unless you want to end up on the floor again, you can settle down and we can handle this like men, or I can lay you out and we'll handle this after the fact. Your choice.
Roll. Are you trying to intimidate or?
Oh, I'm definitely trying to intimidate him.
Roll intimidation.
Okay, that's a 14 plus 8. So 8, 9, 10, 12. So that's a 22.
He seems to be so fixated on Kaj at this point that he's still steamrolling at Kaj, and as you are kind of talking to him and cracking your knuckles, he just grabs Kaj by the hood and throws him against the adjacent wall. Kaj, do you do anything? You're muted.
I'm going to stand up, brush myself off.
So he has you pinned against the wall, kind of has your hood, kind of the shortcuts of your hood, kind of in his grasp, and he just is pinning you at the wall, looking at you square in the face.
While he's pinned, I would like to do a prestidigitation and just make some lights to Banny's right side. Because I'm on Kaj's right shoulder, kind of ducked down behind, and as that is hopefully drawing his attention, I'm going to try and sneak over onto his arm and get onto his hood.
Okay, so that prestidigitation, does that have a will save? Should have a will save.
Let us see. I think it's...
If it doesn't say there, it's going to be your spell attack. If it doesn't say under the spell.
Digitation. All right. Target one object. Oh, hold on. That is not the one that we want. This is different from D&D. Dancing light is what we're doing.
Oh.
All right. So that is going to be a... Okay, so you're just... Wait. Yeah, dancing lights, that's just going to be a creation of 4 floating lights about 10 feet apart. So where are you trying to place these?
It's up to 10 feet apart. So I'm just going to do 4 like directly in his right peripheral just to try and draw his attention that way. Like he's seeing some light out of the corner of his eye, so he's going to look over is the goal.
Okay, I see. Let's see. It seems that he's still fixated on Kaj. His kind of fury and anger erupting from his very eye sockets, his eyes bulging and piercing Kaj square in the pupil.
I do my best to run across his arm anyway.
Roll a acrobatics check.
Acrobatics. All right, that's gonna be a 16 plus 11, 27.
All right, you successfully roll up his shoulder and find yourself on Benny's shoulder as he yells out at Kaj, "I'll give you one more chance. Give me my ring now."
Listen, friend, I can honestly tell you I have no idea what you're talking about. However, I will warn you, you should not start something you cannot finish. Friends, please leave this man alone.
Who are you talking to?
Friends.
Yeah.
Y'all, please leave this man alone. He's clearly mistaken.
I'm drawing my sword either way. Like, my sword is out, and I'm gonna glance at, what is it, Ibrahim?
Ibern.
Ibern. I'm gonna glance at Ibern like
Ibor. Excuse me.
Ibor. I'm gonna glance at him like, you gonna fucking do something, or are we gonna you gonna stay where you are? Or are you gonna try to do something stupid?
Ibor just kind of has his head above, his hands on his head, and he's just kind of jaw a drop, not sure what to do next. It looks like he's never really experienced a situation like this, and he's never seen Banny act like this before.
Boy, if I were you, I'd go back to work.
Are you talking to Ibor?
Oh, I'm talking to him.
He kind of lowers his hands, but still is like in shock of what he's witnessing.
You have rocks in your ears. I said go.
Are you trying to intimidate or
No, I'm just telling him to like kick rocks. Like I'm like, dude, go.
He stays put.
I'm gonna touch the back of Banny's neck, and using touch telepathy, if I may, I'm gonna say, "Why'd you leave me, Dad?" That arc's coming back. We're still doing it to this guy.
Amazing.
Jesus Christ.
Banny turns his gaze away from Kaj for a moment, kind of in the direction of Raptor, but he's unable to see Raptor, with him kind of with Raptor being on the back of his neck, and he's for a moment kind of seems to be a bit distracted.
I guess I'm gonna level my sword to Benny. Like, are you going to put my friend down?
Listen, he's clearly mistaken. There's no need for violence here.
If he doesn't put my friend down.
Banny kind of raises Kaj up against and kind of pins him against the wall, and says to Kaj, "So you're not going to give me my ring back, are you?"
A little more irritated now. I raise my teeth and I say again, don't start something you cannot finish.
At this point, the anger begins to dissipate, and a little bit of solemnness and sadness kind of washes over Benny's face. With a quick spike of anger, he throws Kaj to the ground to his right and looks down at Kaj and points his finger and says, "I'll remember this."
I'm gonna walk up to him and put my sword between his legs, be all like, if you don't calm down, I'm gonna make sure that you're absolutely useless to Catherine.
His eyes widen as you say the word Catherine, and he kind of looks like he's beginning to contemplate for a moment, looks at Ibber. Ibber still in shock of what he's seeing, and he kind of lowers his hands in solemn defeat.
Step away from the cat.
He takes a half step back.
Good. I'm gonna step between him and Kaj. Like I'm going to remove like he's not any like not the edge, but like I'm going to move my sword and I'm gonna step between Kaj and I'm gonna keep him at the end of it. He's gonna be like, now what the hell? And like I'm gonna keep it probably like level with his face, like not touching him, but like, dude, if you move, all I gotta do is just jab. I'm like, now what in Iomede's name is going on with you?
While he's in this compromising position, Raptor is going to once again touch the back of his neck and say, "Please, Dad, don't hurt them like you did me."
Banning looks to his side and almost at a whisper, a phantom behind him, and seems confused, perplexed at what he's seeing, and doesn't see a man or any figure behind it other than Ibor. And he then draws back to Tristan, and we lost Tristan.
You've forgotten me, haven't you, Dad?
I have no children. And he speaks
Because
out
you
loud.
left me. Because you left me, Dad. As I'm doing this bit with one hand on the back of his neck, I'm taking the ring off of my head and depositing it into his hood.
Okay. Roll a thievery check.
Reverse thievery. I love it. Oh, that is a good roll. 17 plus 4 is 21.
All right, you successfully deposit the ring in his hood without him noticing.
Sorry, had to go check something real quick. What is he turning to me and saying?
He turns back to Tristan. Tristan's blade at Banny's throat. Banny places his hands on his hips and across his chest and says, "If you're gonna run me through, then do it. If you're not gonna do it,
Hey,
put
no.
put your blade to your side.
You're in no position to give me orders, boy.
If you're gonna kill me in cold blood, just do it then."
I have no desire to kill you, but if you keep trying to hurt my friend, I might have to.
Check your hood, Dad. What you're looking for is in your hood. And then I immediately jump off his back, float down to the ground, and do my best to stay out of his sight and climb back to either Tristan or Kaj.
Do I
Roll-
see that happen?
We'll see. Roll a acrobatics check and a stealth check.
Which one?
Acrobatics is going to be 21, and
Okay.
stealth, I have a skill that I don't have to roll. I can get a flat 10 plus my modifier, so that's 23 for stealth.
23.
Yep.
All
So
right.
21 for acrobatics, 23 for stealth.
All right, you successfully kind of do a bit of a backflip as you fall down to the ground and gracefully land on your feet and scuttle on the ground towards where are you going?
I'm going to go to Kaj's leg and just grab onto the back of his calf and chill out there.
All right, you successfully scuttle over to Kaj's leg and latch yourself to his lower trouser pant. And the three of you see Banny with kind of a perplexed look on the back of his on his face. He kind of reaches back behind his neck as if to scratch an itch, and he has a reaction to his motion, and an even more perplexed look on him. He draws back from his hood, and in his palm, a shiny metallic trinket seems to be in his grasp. He kind of begins to rub it and looks at it with both hands, and looks on the inside of what appears to be a silver ring. He looks kind of in the inside of the band, and he turns to Kaj and turns to Tristan. His hands kind of fall down to the ground, one hand grasping the ring, and then he turns to Kaj. Perhaps I was mistaken. My apologies.
Mind telling us what in the ruddy hell you're doing? Searching around for us, and then rushing us to do us harm as soon as we show up.
Well, and he still is trying to. It seems like he's still trying to piece together how he came across the ring in his hood and how that ended up in his hood, and he still seems to be trying to work. Seems to be trying to work that out in his head as he speaks. You see,
with touch telepathy on Kaj, I just laugh telepathically and say, "I bamboozled him, Mr. Claus."
I'm gonna usher like just the faintest little purr.
All right. You see this ring, and he kind of thumbs it forward for you to see. A silver band in hand is very precious to me. I have been saving for a long time to be able to afford it, and I had thought that your friend here had taken it from my possession the other night, and it seems I was mistaken.
Dead to right wrongs.
Yes. Well, I don't know what to say. Gosh, are you still on the ground, or did you get up?
I got up. I'm just staring at him.
He kind of takes half step forward towards Kaj in kind of an apologetic motion, and then stops himself and just kind of looks at Kaj directly in the eye and says to you, Kaj, I misjudged you. My sincerest apologies.
Yes, you did. Apologies. Accepted.
You are aware that if you're going to ask any girl for her hand, you have to gain the approval of her father, correct?
Well, that's my business.
Clearly, it's all of Sandpoint's business.
Nice.
He seems a bit flustered. His kind of cheeks begin to redden, and his brow begins to sweat a bit. And
I mean, I must commend you, boy. You definitely have aim high. I mean, you're the supervisor at a logging mill going after the general store owner's daughter.
You don't know anything.
I know that you're aiming at a girl far above your station, and that her father wants nothing to do with you. And I know quite a bit about forbidden love triangles and net and ill-advised romances. So,
just get out, the lot of you, get out.
Careful. Remember what happened the last time you got lippy and tried to bum rush one of us?
He's now standing more stoic and a little bit more with a bit more confidence than he had just a moment before.
Yeah, well, courage is good, boy, but you're not a soldier.
Well, that's true, but at least I'll be with the one I love.
Oh, really? The one you love? The woman you're going to marry? So if I go and speak to her father and tell her about this whole ordeal and the fact that you have a ring, he's not going to mind at all.
And he kind of, his face goes a bit pale, and he just kind of shudders up, and behind him, Ibor just kind of grasps Banny's shoulder, and Banny looks at Ibor, and they kind of exchange glances a little bit, and you can kind of see that Ibor, you can kind of see that Banny kind of begins to cool. He begins to seem a little bit less stressed, a little bit less petrified at what Tristan is telling him, and looks back at Tristan. We still have work to do. If there's nothing else, just be gone with you.
I'm not so sure I like this impetuous youth's attitude. I'm saying that I look to Kaj and I say that.
Well, the poor lad is clearly out of his mind with love and other things.
Stupidity ranks high among them.
Agreed. Let's leave him to his own endeavors. For now.
I'm going to glance at Banny, and I'm just going to say, mind yourself. I won't be so merciful next time.
He kind of reacts with a bit of a pale face, and his blood begins to dissipate from his pores a little bit with that motion.
Right. Off we go. Now that we've handled this situation.
I tuck into Kaj's pant leg to not be detected on the way out.
All right.
No.
It doesn't look like you are detected by anybody.
I'm gonna lean into Kaj. What the hell do you think that was about? I haven't seen anybody react like that. I've been around nobles who have easily touched, pride. That short, that narrow-mindedness, that's incredibly reckless. You and you're armed. He's clearly not.
Yes.
Those tender bits, and he's not a thing.
Yes, this boy is clearly a little unsettled. I think that this will be very good leverage if we ever need him for anything in our battle against Garnetti.
And not only that, I think we need to let if he has a ring, that means he needs to take action sometime soon. Don't we have to? I think we have to tell the girl's father.
I don't see it really being our business. Besides, as long as we know about this and the general store manager does not, this is some leverage that we can use against him if we ever need it.
I mean, what use is he in anything against Garnetti? I'm assuming we're walking back home or something.
Yeah, you guys are back on the streets and kind of making your way back towards the townhouse.
What leverage can he give us against Garnetti?
Yes, I don't know if he has any information that could really help us, but if we have any questions that need answered, anything like that, he may be a good resource.
It's not
I flutter up to Kaj's shoulder and fill the group in on how I am convincing this man that he abandoned a child in the woods and has forgotten about it, and that we can use that as leverage as well.
Is he actually reacting to you piping in being his abandoned child?
I am an expert at planting false memories inside of people's heads. So yes, he certainly is. You saw how weird he acted in there. That was me. That was Raptor!
Well, if it works, then I suppose it's worth doing. Just be
I
careful.
can plant a fake body for him.
Oh.
If we need to go that far.
We don't. We
He-
definitely don't.
Now, I may be young, but clearly he's an honest working man just trying to save up enough money for a ring to propose to his wife that he loves. But I don't really understand how or why that works, but he seemed very passionate about it when I read his thoughts in there when I was talking to him. He very much loves this person, and maybe we do just let this one be for now, but if we do need to further convince this person that he abandoned a child in the woods at a young age, then we can do so.
Love can unmake the most solid of foundations. It can cause catastrophes, and sometimes there are reasons why love can't be.
I look over to Kaj. Did I do good, Standy?
You did very good. I'm proud of you.
Huge smile across Raptor's face, and he just sits down very contented and smiles off into the distance.
Come on, we better get home and figure out what we're going to do next.
All right, so you make your way back to the townhouse. After some time, you return to the townhouse. At this point, Raptor, you're beginning to feel a little bit of a tightness in your chest and kind of lower stomach.
How tight we talking?
Like the spell that you plant is running kind of towards its end.
The horny plant?
No. The what was it? Bag of holding spell?
Oh shit. Okay. Standy, Swordman, anyone got a bag or a bottle? Anything?
I'll hand him a little bag of a little empty bag I had, like that just had a pouch of like sword wax or something. Just kind of like here.
Is it clean? I don't want to taint the taste.
You're fine. It's fine. It just had some wax in it earlier, but
Suppose that'll do. And I yak up a pint, a full pint, out of my tiny body of this beautiful ale directly into this bag. Anytime that it seems like it's about to stop, it just keeps going because it's exiting through my tiny mouth. It's like 10 seconds straight of just a pint of this pouring out into this bag. It gets so heavy I can barely hold it. Standy, help. Hold it.
I'll help him out.
Thank you. Please tie that up. Throw it in your pack. Save it for later. I'm willing to share if you help.
I'm gonna give it a little sniff and see what it actually is.
God.
So you sniff it, and you get the hint of cloves and cinnamon, but the main scent that you're getting from it is kind of this tarry, gelatinous goo, something similar to you almost have a flashback to the last time that you had the Hagfish surprise drink, and you kind of begin to like gag in the back of your throat, and you kind of get a little bit of a baby vomit in the back of your throat as you are recalling your own experiences.
I'm gonna recoil. And Raptor, are you sure there's no hagfish juice in this concoction?
I sniff it and observe it. Do I even need to roll a perception check to
No,
know
you
that it's fucked up?
You definitely know it's fucked up.
I look at it, I realize it's fucked up. God damn it! Fuck! Throw it away! Fuck!
Can do. And I'm gonna pour it out on the sidewalk as we keep walking.
God.
But at this point, you're
Fuck!
back at the townhouse.
Oh, then it's going in the chamber pot.
Raptor just starts muttering fuck under his breath and walks around the house aimlessly. Fuck, it was so good and it's fucked because of that fucking Nora. Fuck! I get why they call it a virus. Fuck!
Do you need to sleep it off, little man?
I fucking wanted that goddamn good beer and it's fucked because of your fucking trick sword, man. You fuck!
Watch your mouth, I'll kick you across the room.
I flutter up into the rafters, and as I get to the rafters, I send Tristan one of these, and then I curl down and rack the hell out.
I'm gonna stuff a little piece of fabric and a little piece of padding up there for a bed.
All right.
You only sometimes disappoint me, Standy. Thank you.
As he does this up, I'm going to look up and be like, I'll pull your wings off.
Reach me if you can, Landstander. I add 2 fingers now.
Tristan goes and gets his bow.
I'll walk over and put my hand on Tristan's shoulder and be like, just let him sleep.
I'm not taking this from an 8-inch fairy in my own house.
I've seen what that little 8-inch fairy can do with a horde of rats. Do you remember that on the convoy? That was him.
You remember
I wouldn't
this
mess
arrow
with him.
that's twice his size?
All I'm saying is if there's a war between the two of you, I'm not on your side.
Boy, sword man,
Or
keep
his
aiming
side.
that arrow at me. See what happens. And I stand on the edge of the rafter, kind of leaning back and forth, and start unbuckling my belt.
Do what you will, Tristan. I'm not a part of it.
Extend the bow now. Now I'm like, drop your trousers. See if you still got anything left after you do.
Raptor stares him in the eye continuously, and then he just whips it out. And maintaining eye contact, we're playing chicken here. Who's gonna falter first?
Tristan lets like one finger off of the arrow, I will fucking lose this thing. Gosh, are you gonna do anything or no?
Raptor maintains eye contact, and then
Tristan's still staring him down.
Is there any
right.
suitable vessel to piss in down below me, other than Tristan?
Let's see. There is directly below you. No, it really is not.
Is he standing on a beam in the house?
That is my intention.
Yeah, he's kind of standing on one of the support beams on the. So that kind of how the house is constructed. I think he's kind of standing on one of the support beams going up to the second floor. So kind of like the railing of the stair railing to the second floor.
Oh, he's on the stair railing to the second floor.
Yeah.
I'm fucking around with the bow.
Maintaining eye contact.
So both of you roll a intimidation check.
Oh, you're screwed. Oh, you're fucked. Oh, you're definitely fucked.
Oh, that's gonna be an 8.
I rolled a 26.
All right. Raptor blinks first.
Raptor realizes he has blinked and lost this alpha standoff, and kind of glances back to Tristan for a second and gives him a gnarly sneer, and then turns around and pisses somewhere unknown. It's not quite sure where he's pissing, but it is not on Tristan.
Okay.
Tristan just kind of smirks and is like, that's right. Like, you think I'm going to be kowtowed by something half the size of my dick?
You guys can both barely hear Raptor muttering, "Fucking sword man, fucking piece of shit, fucking trying to throw a fucking arrow at me while I'm trying to fucking take a piss. This goddamn asshole fucked me up. He gave me that fucking poison fucking drink and it ruined my fucking good drink. This fucking dick."
Tristan's going to loose the arrow just like below where he's standing.
Fuck! He jumps as he's pissing. You see a little bit of a piss stream fly up in the air. And then Raptor glances back down, shakes his head, and then just walks off into the upstairs.
You think about that. Think about how easily that could have been you. Could have pinned you to the wall like a display insect.
I don't want anything more to do with this. I'm going the fuck to sleep.
Tristan unstrings the bow and goes to bed.
Raptor clocks out far away from where he pissed on the floor upstairs.
All right. So the three of you make your way to your beds, and after a restful night's sleep, you awake to the morning dawn. You can already hear a little bit of the hustle and bustle of the early morning just as the dawn arises, and the sun is just beginning to start its arch over the sky and kind of crest over some of the adjacent rooftops. Though from your beds you hear a pounding at the door.
Oh, let's see what fresh fuckery is about to begin today.
Oh, God.
Tristan
Raptor,
gets dressed and gets his sword on. And it's like, all right, let's go see what's gonna fucking happen today.
I'll do the same. Raptor, would you like to jump on board with me?
I'm gonna land on Tristan's shoulder this time.
Ooh.
And just kind of give him a look of like an apologetic nod.
I buy you another drink the next time we go to the Hagfish. Are we good?
Done deal.
All right. I hand him. I kind of do this so we can shake on it.
I grab his entire finger in my whole hand.
All right. Let's go see who's at the door. Yeah.
All right. So you go down to the downstairs and open the door. In front of you, you find Sheriff Hemlock standing at your door.
What are you doing here?
Yes, how can we help you?
Well, there's something we have to discuss.
Okay, come on in.
Thank you. And he throws back his hood, and it's a little bit chilly out, so he kind of had his hood up, so he kind of throws his hood back as he enters the threshold of your door. May I sit down?
Of course, make yourself at home.
Yes.
Can I be stealthing on Tristan?
I'll kind of put my hood up slightly to give Raptor something to hide in while looking like I'm just readjusting my cloak or something.
All right. And Raptor, if you're stealthing, go ahead and roll a stealth check.
Got that skill for 10 plus 13, so it's 23.
So, well, you can tell your little friend that he can come on out when he's quite ready.
He's still waking up. He prefers the cloak right now.
Well,
I hear this and pop my face out, eyes wide, like, you can fucking say me?
I've been around the block more than once. I've seen my fair share of strange things. You don't surprise me.
I'll go ahead and pick him up and put him on the table then.
Would you care to sit down? That's what I have to say is... It's a lot.
Well, I'll take a seat.
I sit crisscross on the table.
I will as well. Would you like some tea or anything?
No, what's going on, Hemlock? You're starting to worry us a bit.
Indeed, a cup of tea would be a lovely respite if it's not too much to ask.
Oh, can do. I will whip up some of my favorite herbs.
Right. What's What's going on? Well, Kaj is getting the tea on. What's going on? Is there danger again?
Well, first, he seems to be a little bit. He seems a little bit drained this morning. Seems like he kind of has a little bit of bags under his eyes, as though he really didn't get much sleep the night prior.
I'm gonna push the bread and cheese that I set out for myself in front of him.
He looks at the cheese and says, "Thank you. Tea would be all I'd like at the moment.
All right.
But thank you kindly.
All right.
First, let me thank you again for all that you've done for Sandpoint. It's fortunate that you've proven yourself so capable, because we have a problem I think you can help us with.
Okay. What's going on?
This problem, I wish I didn't have to involve anyone, but it needs dealing with before the situation grows worse.
And we're independent and outside the jurisdiction of Sandpoint, so we're easiest to get in. Of course. This is our
Well, it's not exactly that. It's more, in my mind at least, it's you've proven yourselves able and steadfast for justice in this town, and those are the kind of people that I need at my side at this particular hour.
Yes, we are. Right, Standy Claus?
Easy, Raptor. Let the man finish what he's saying.
Yes.
Okay.
Put
Go on,
simply, we have, and Hemlock kind of grows quiet and takes a deep breath before continuing. We have a murderer in our midst.
What? Who?
Oh, what is
Who
going
died?
on?
Who's killed?
This murder, I fear, has only begun his work. Some of you doubtless remember the late unpleasantness. The town nearly tore itself apart at the
The
whims
chopper, correct?
of indeed the chopper. And I'm afraid now that something similar is brewing in town.
Who was the victim?
Well, that's the thing, is it's not victim, it's victims.
Who?
Last night, a murder struck at the Sandpoint Sawmill. The bodies, two victims, Catherine Vinder and Benny Harker, were found.
Oh, fuck, we know them.
Yes.
But we didn't do it. I swear.
Raptor.
We talked to them. But we didn't do it.
Go on, Hemlock.
You know the victims.
Yes.
Harker wanted to speak with us. Passed along information at the Hagfish the other night while we were away. Apparently, he wanted to speak with us. We confronted him. He thought we stole some ring for the girl, but he misplaced it. It seems, and I mean, he was angry. He was trying to confront Kaj, but aside from trying to stop him, we didn't lay a hand on him.
Roll a diplomacy check.
So that's 14 plus 8. So that's a 22.
He kind of leans back in his chair in contemplation. Well, thank you for telling me this. It does complicate things a tad. The bodies themselves were found in a quite gruesome shape, and by the other mill worker, Iborn, and maybe you may have met him around town. And at the moment, my men have arrived at the scene, and crowd has already begun to grow.
What do you need us to do?
Put simply, need you to find out who is committing these horrendous crimes. And there is something else.
Yes.
This, unfortunately, has not been the first murder. We had a murder a couple of days ago, and it's my fear that this may not be the last. I've come to help you, come to you for help in this matter. My men are good, but they're also green, barely able to handle themselves against the goblins, and now we're facing a evil far worse than goblins. I need your help. But I'm afraid there's a bit more of a wrinkle in my plans, and given what you've just told me, it complicates things further. At this point, he passes the three of you a blood-soaked note, folded in half.
We flick it open.
Take a look. If you want to... Actually, here's... I don't know if you guys... Yeah, you guys can see this. The note reads, "I do as you command, Kaj, your lordship." Blood soaking through the parchment.
Well, now that is disturbing.
I'm gonna glance at Kaj like briefly, like, the fuck?
Yes, no, that is quite disturbing. The fact that he first thought that I stole his ring, and now there's something going on trying to frame me for this, it seems.
Kaj, is there anybody?
This is bad. This is very bad. Someone else knows your secret identity, Standy.
Standy?
I
Yes,
kind
yes.
of lean over to Hemlock and be like, he believes that he is some deity known as Standy Claus. We just humor the boy.
Yeah, I've given up trying to teach him my name.
Since I've matured a lot, I won't explain it to you right now, but if you'd like, I will gladly tell you the story of Standy Claus, Mr. Sheriff Man.
Easy. We have other priorities.
Well, and now he turns directly at Kaj. Given the notes and what you've mentioned so far, I have one question for you, Kaj.
Go on.
I'm gonna move my hand under the table and just kind of rest it on my sword.
I'm only going to ask you this once. Stone-faced, the sheriff looks at Kaj, eye to eye. Were you involved in these murders, in any way?
I can honestly say I was not. The only involvement I have is this grievance that this poor boy had against me. And even when he did confront me, there are other witnesses. I did not do anything against him. I have no connection to this heinous murder. I would like to get this to the bottom of this as much as you would.
And that is the lot of it, nothing more.
That is exactly right. He had a grievance against me. I heard he was asking about me. I confronted him. He attacked me. We did nothing against him.
Roll a diplomacy check plus advantage.
Is that because he's telling the truth, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
22 without the advantage.
I just needed to hear you say it. I believe you, Kosh. But not everyone may be as trusting as I. I know your character. I know your quality and the quality of your compatriots.
We've saved this town how many times and they don't believe that Kaj is here to help?
Well, some on the council and some of the citizens are harder to convince than I pride myself in being able to distinguish friend from foe, honorable from dishonorable.
Bloody well hope so.
Sorry?
Bloody well hope so.
Indeed. Well, given that, it is my opinion that this note was written in a attempt to mislead us from the true purveyor of these crimes. It is my intent to deputize the lot of you so that you might investigate the murders. As I said, my men can keep the peace for now, but an investigation is beyond their skill set, and I will have my hands full keeping the council at bay. It's in particular given these pieces of information that lead towards, or might lead some towards Kaj. I can keep the council in the dark for now, but I hope that we can solve this quickly and be on with our lives.
No, wait. If the townspeople think that Kaj is involved, deputizing him is going to, well, publicly deputizing him and assigning him is going to make things, is going to only add fuel to the fire. And
At the moment, only I know of this note, and it is my opinion that Kaj is innocent of the crime. Therefore, I will be steadfast in my assurance that Kaj is worthy of a deputy, the honor of being deputized, and because it's my opinion that he did not commit the crime.
Understood.
And at least for the time being, we'll keep that piece of information between us. I am free to investigate as I see fit, and will eventually have to report to the council, but we don't need to disclose this just yet.
Right.
Well, there are a few other things to go over as well. As I said, the murders were committed at the Sawmill, so I would recommend starting there first, being fresh and all. There are a few other points that you might want to investigate as well. Thorne was the last person to see either Banny or Catherine alive. Currently, I am holding him in interrogation at the garrison, and you are free to meet with him and discuss with him once you get the chance. Don't know that he has much in the way of information to disclose. He's a bit, well, seems that he's been through a lot, and don't know that he'll have much in the way of useful information.
Take it easy on the boy.
Another person you might want to talk to would be Vin Vender, Catherine's father, the general store owner. It was a not so secret that Benny and Catherine were, well,
Fond of each other.
Fond of each other, yes, indeed. And unfortunately, Vin, either through ignorance or just choosing to be ignorant, was unaware of their relationship. So at the moment, he stands to be my prime suspect. But then again, he could just be angry and saddened father at the loss of his daughter. I had to jail him at the garrison for the time being, let him cool off there. He was in a bit of a rage the last time I spoke.
Raptor raises his hand.
Yes, my little fellow. What is it?
Are you suggesting that the shopkeeper murdered his own daughter to keep him from marrying the sawmill manager? Because that don't make any fucking sense in my mind.
There's a lot of people are complicated, Raptor. And
Indeed.
Sometimes anger makes people do things they would regret normally.
Well, we are working on what information we have in front of us. So at the moment, it's unlikely, but we have to look down every avenue we can. Additionally, there was the first murders. 3 commoners from Graldia killed at an abandoned barn south of town. One bodyguard survived the attack and is now being housed at Habe's Sanatorium south of Sandpoint, private institution for the criminally and otherwise insane.
Is the man mad?
Most likely, yes. But should he may prove useful. He may have seen something. I haven't had the chance to speak with him directly. I've written ahead a letter of introduction for you and the caretaker of the facility. The other thing that is bothering me in particular is the carving on Banny Harker's chest. A rune I don't recognize, a 7-pointed star. And, well...
No, the
Can't-
medallion that
Medallion?
Yes.
pointed
You know
He-
something.
didn't Lavash to. Wasn't that a symbol?
Yes, that was the symbol that the priests worshiping Lavashtu in the fortress that we found displayed. It featured their keyholes. It was a significant part of their cult.
Well, when you're at the Sawmill, take extra care to look into that, and you might talk to Borant Quink. He's a local scholar in town. He might know a little bit more than I.
Now, what of Scarnetti? He employed the young lad that was murdered before his death. Any chance that was a part? After all, the Glassmaker Guild, that leader was involved in the 7-pointed star cult. Is it unreasonable to think that Scarnetti could have been as well?
Indeed, Scarnetti did own the mill and employed Banny. And though it's unlikely that he's involved, that might be a avenue you should investigate. Take a look at all avenues, that is, and look at any piece of evidence that you might find. That is my advice.
We'll look into it.
But first and foremost, I ask you to take a look at the sawmill. It's my hope that we have Benny and Catherine's bodies made ready for their burials by the end of the day. It's not a good thing to let those corpses, mangled and in the fashion that they are, lie for much longer. But with that, do you have any questions that I can answer before I leave you to your business?
Raptor raises his hand.
Yes, my little friend.
Now, if you could summarize for me right quick, this is part 1 of 2 of the question. How many murders were there? 5? 5 total? 3 and then 2?
There were 3 murders 2 days ago.
Okay.
A series of bodyguards and merchants from
Where was
Galduria.
this? This was in town?
This was This took place at a barn south of town.
At the barn, okay.
And most recently, Catherine and Vinder and Banny Harkin at the Sawmill. This occurred only just last night.
Wait, these
I understand.
bodyguards, were they transporting something?
At this point, we're uncertain.
Right.
The only witness to the murder is at the insane asylum, and from what I was able to gather, he's, well, less than helpful when I spoke with him.
Worry not. I can communicate with damn near anything, even someone with a condition such as his.
Well,
Now,
that's a skill that'll prove very useful in the coming days, I'm sure.
good, good. Now, sir, part 2 of my question, and I truly do hate to ask this at a moment like this, but unfortunately my services are not free, and I don't want to ask for any monetary payment up front. However, you being in the profession that you are, I'm sure you have many confiscated goods that you are looking for an outlet for.
I'm gonna put my
I'm gonna pull my dagger out and jam it in behind Raptor.
Wait,
like just in the table behind him. Just
are stimulants and drugs illegal in this land?
Some are, some are not.
So the good ones are definitely illegal, right?
Raptor.
The more valuable ones the more potent ones tend to be either illegal or frowned upon.
Now, sir, the only reason I ask is because I do my best sleuthing while absolutely fried on stimulants.
I'm gonna work the
Kind of
dagger
start
out and put it back in my
shaking
belt.
excitedly.
I will.
He's new here.
I will handle him.
Yeah.
Go on your way. Address your men. Keep the peace. We'll figure this out.
I thank you.
Now, one final question: the guards in the shed that were murdered, were they employed by Sandpoint?
No, as far as I can tell, they were employed by one of the slain merchants. Simply a traveler.
Not the Varetians, by chance.
I do not believe that they were Varetian.
All right.
So you don't have anything for me then? I'm just supposed to work for free? Is that what this is?
Raptor.
Well,
I understand you're trying to do the best for your community here, but community service is not free.
Raptor.
it's all right, Tristan. Given the serious nature of the situation at hand, I suppose I could scrape together, say, 500 gold for the lot of you to investigate and report to me. Just be as quick as you can.
Okay. One final question. Sorry to keep you, but I have a slight hunch that it does have to do with the Varetians, and this is a wild guess. Is there anything we should know about? I don't really know anything about Varetians other than they're an enemy at Sandpoint at one point, and specifically the Scarnettis.
Well, the Parisians are, I wouldn't categorize them as a enemy of Sandpoint by any means. And in fact, many of the finest citizens of Sandpoint are Varetian. Varetian is simply the native inhabitants of this land before people from Magnamar, settlers from Magnamar, and came to settle the coast and expand further inland. There, of course, was given some settlement and expansion of Magnar's interest in the form of Sandpoint, there was some friction between the colonists and the native Oretians. Granted, this was a bit before my time, but Almond Scarnetti is known to have, well, there's no good word for it, massacred some Varetians some 40 years ago. It's a black...
Scarnetti's father, correct?
That is Titus's father. Titus Scarnetti's father, yes. There's... Every city, every town in this land has black marks on its history. In my time, it was the late Unpleasantness, and my forefathers' time, it was the Varetian massacre. And though I wish that it had never occurred, it has placed a wedge between some of the native Varetians and the settlers from Magnamar and some of the inhabitants of Sandpoint. But I will say this, some of the finest citizens and finest people I know in Sandpoint are in fact Oretian. In fact, and he kind of scratches his cheek in contemplation. In fact, I indeed am Varetian. I took the name Hemlock to more better assimilate with the leadership of the town. My brother, he never quite understood that.
You have a brother?
Yes, Garrison Viscalani. He's the owner and operator of the White Deer Tavern and Inn. He's my younger brother, and he and I have never seen eye to eye, and after I changed my name to Hemlock, he and I don't talk much anymore.
Okay.
But the Varetians are fine people. They tend to have a bit of a dark side to their history and to their culture. Some of the less scrupulous of us are known for, well, being less than honorable in our trades, pickpocketing, thievery. On the rare occasion, there's even been murder, or so-called murder. I've never actually known a Varetian to slay another, at least in this town. But if you are familiar with the, let's see. If you're familiar with the Fat Man's Feed Bag, you'll know another one of my kinsmen, Jubilee Viscati. He too is a Varetian, though he does not display the more honorable qualities of our kinship.
We've met.
Indeed, I've heard of your entanglement with him. He and I have a bit of a rivalry. Not something difficult to imagine, I must say. I never seem to pin him to any one crime.
Were it not for maintaining the peace of Sandpoint, I would have already issued a challenge to him and killed him in the street.
Well, killing in cold blood is never the answer to endeavors, but had he pulled a blade and been violent towards you in the onset of that engagement, well, that'd be something entirely different.
Never say never, Badgeman. Sometimes it's highly effective.
Give the man
Like I said, he's
I
new
know,
here.
Raptor.
Well, I trust you'll teach him of the civilized ways of Sandpoint.
He's an issue. He's a problem for another time.
Yes, I understand.
Well, do a lot of you have any further questions regarding the recent murders? Yes. What was your name? I don't know that I ever heard it.
I'm Raptor, sir. Like
Raptor.
like the bird, but my bird's name is Robin, and she's a hawk, so don't get it too confused.
Isn't that a bit...
No, it makes
backwards?
perfect sense. I see nothing wrong with it. Anyhow, I asked about some payment earlier, and you said gold, and that's not quite what I'd asked for. So alternatively, do you know anybody who can turn gold into what I asked for?
And he looks square at Raptor, kind of looking down on him as Raptor being on the table.
For mission purposes. I told you I work better.
And what exactly are you looking for?
Well, cocaine, crack cocaine, methamphetamine, anything of the like.
He turns to Tristan and to Kaj and says, I trust you'll teach your friend that such illicit substances are not permitted in town.
If we have to tie him by his ankles and throw him in an ice bath, we'll do it.
Well, then I don't right know how you want me to solve this murder.
Raptor,
But joke's on you. I already know who did it. I won't tell you unless you pay me.
Raptor?
He turns back to Raptor.
Can I do a deception check for that? Can I try and convince this man to pay me drugs right now?
Go ahead and roll a deception to see
Hell yeah.
if he believes you.
Oh, that is a nat 20. I shit you not. Plus 9 in deception.
Yikes.
Incredible.
He looks square at Raptor and says, if you know who committed these heinous acts, tell me now, or I swear to the gods I will imprison you and throw away the key. He seems very agitated at this point, where he just wants the murders to be solved, and is, given the fact that he certainly believes that Raptor knows who did it, or at least is on the way of knowing who did it, he's very intent on getting that information.
I just hold my hand out, palm upward, and say, half now, half after I tell you.
I'm going to step around the table and put my hand on Hemlock's shoulder and be like, Hemlock, if he knew who did this, do you really think we wouldn't have told you by now?
Why would I tell him for free?
I'm gonna turn around and backhand Raptor.
Yes, he has been with us.
Yeah, I'm like
for
just without
quite-
like
for at least a
like I'm
couple
gonna
of
move my hand and just backhand him.
I save myself in a flutter. As I fly, I flutter back to the table. And I say, Titus Scarnetti hired someone to kill those people. Please pay me.
Titus Scarnetti, you said.
He is just guessing. We will investigate Titus, but we don't know anything for sure yet.
Well, if the investigation points to Titus Scarnetti, we'll investigate Titus Scarnetti, but
I'll have the record show. I am calling it right now. Titus Scarnetti hired somebody to kill those people.
damn it, Raptor.
That is both in character and out of character.
Well, investigate all avenues in front of you. And once you find the killer, can't believe I'm doing this.
You don't have to say it. We know. And we will.
No, go on. You have a thought on your mind.
Perhaps
The man needs deniability if we're going to act as judge, jury, and executioner.
well,
Oh, I understand, Tristan.
you are being
Wink at him.
deputized, but judge, jury, and executioner is a far cry from my intent. It's my hope that you'll find who did this and bring them to me. But
So, You're about to say something about to me?
Oh. A moment, my friend.
Oh, okay, okay.
But should they resist, then I leave it to your good judgment. As for you, my little acquaintance,
Yes.
Odin.
Don't let my size fool you. I will need a lot.
once you find who did this, perhaps some of the contraband, perhaps some of it might have been misplaced.
Sir, I hear you. I appreciate that. And I would like to make a wager that if this is Titus Scarnetti and I am correct, you give me double the amount that you're proposing now. If it is anyone other than Titus Scarnetti, you give me half. That's a wager you can agree on, right?
It most certainly is not. I will not wager against a citizen of Sandpoint, let alone a council member.
I turn around
He
to
is
Tristan.
He is very. If he wasn't repulsed by Raptor before, he is now.
I turn around to Tristan and Kaj and say, well, obviously Scarnetti did it. Otherwise, he would have taken that bet.
Perhaps you should go, and we'll start the investigation.
I turn back around, hold my hand out, and say, your terms are acceptable.
I agree to no terms of illicit substances, only
Proper payment, we can call it.
well, 500 gold pieces to be sure. Others, perhaps.
Wink, wink.
He seems to be scowling at Raptor.
Just
Hemlock is visually disgusted at himself, not just at Raptor, but at himself for what he's having to do right now to ensure the safety of Sandpoint.
go. Defend the rest of the community. We'll take care of things from here. And we'll certainly take care of someone.
Well,
When I'm right,
Good.
you all are getting none of it.
the best of luck to the lot of you. I must be off.
And with you, Hemlock.
Aye, aye, sir. We'll find your murderer.
Hemlock leaves his red cape, red cloak, kind of fluttering behind him as he moves back into the downtown region of, or upper town region of Sandpoint.
As soon as he leaves the house, I turn around to Tristan and Kaj. And I say, okay, obvious answer here. Scarnetti, whether he did it or not. If he didn't, we frame him. If he did, great. I will share the cocaine with you.
Okay.
The end. Done deal.
Tristan
Okay.
goes to, walks past them and goes to put on his armor.
Tristan, as much as it hurts me to agree with Raptor, I believe he is right. It is time that I'm a little more blunt with you about my past. In my past, I was an illegal freedom fighter. Not good. I look past it now. I don't agree with everything that I did. It was all in effort to save the forest and all, but my methods were a little extreme. I believe that the only reason that anybody would frame me would be for this. I've made no enemies other than the enemies that I've made in all of our company, so there's no particular reason anyone would single me out other than the fact that I used to be a freedom fighter against the logging industry and against Scarnetti. That is why I originally came here to Sandpoint, was to find a more effective way to end this logging industry than freedom fighting, which both gruesome and to little avail. So, all cards on the table. That I believe that is what is going on. So my proposal is that we go check out the most fresh murder, and we then investigate the guards at the shed. If it turns out that there's any Varetian linkage, that would likely lead us to Scarnetti due to his family's dealing with him in the past.
Raptor rubs his hands together and looks at Kaj and nods, says, I'm going to get so much drugs from that badge man.
You're not the only one with secrets, Kaj. And I respect you for sharing yours. And I understand what you're trying to do here. And
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
I don't hold it against you. The note said, Your Lordship. Were you in a position of leadership amongst these freedom fighters?
No, it was literally just me. I was a cloaked individual. I thought I kept my identity hidden. However, maybe I did not.
You think that you might have inspired any followers?
I can't imagine so. This was during the time that I lived in the woods by myself with my wolf clan. You are really the only human-ish compatriots I've ever come to know.
I guess we should start at the mill.
I agree. That is the freshest trace.
Take it easy on the boy we encountered the other night. I mean, Benny was stupid, trying to go after you and trying to go after us. But however stupid the boy might have been, he didn't deserve to die.
Absolutely. I hold nothing against the boy other than working for Scarnetti.
All right, so you make your way to the Sandpoint lumber mill. It seems that a small gathering has already begun to form around the mill, with whispers of what lies within. Everyone roll a society check.
Ooh.
Hey.
10.
6.
Dirty 20.
All right. Kaj and Tristan, you hear from some of the murmurings of the crowd that it seems that the lumber mill often operates late into the night, last night being no exception. The mill itself is a well-built wooden structure and is with thick walls, the roof of wooden shingles, and doors of simple timber, unbolted and unlocked. The normal rumble of the mill's machinery noticeably absent. The entrance to the mill, there stands 4 town guards who nod as you pass by. 2 of the guards remain at their posts, while the other 2 follow the 3 of you into the lumber mill. Everyone roll perception.
32.
Also 32.
Ooh.
Nice.
I got an 18. Like shit. And these 220 D20s away.
All right. It seems that the... Actually, let's do this.
I stepped away for a moment. I apologize. We have left the house and are now going to the lumber mill. Yes.
Yeah.
You are
Cool.
almost at the lumber mill.
That was our perception, was entering the lumber mill.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, you find yourselves in the entryway to the lumber mill. A single door lies to your left, while another single door leads to your front. You recall from the last night's exploits that the main center of operation lies in front of you. And it appears that the door to the left is ajar and leads into what seems to be a simple and rather Spartan office.
Raptor is going to dismount and run to that door. And this is the first time that anybody has ever seen Raptor run, and it is fucking hilarious. He hobbles super hard side to side with his legs spread wide, just hobbling over to that door.
You should have control of your token, so go ahead and move your token where you like.
Oh shit! We
On roll 20.
On the roll 20.
Oh, hell
Oh
yeah.
damn! Okay.
A non-combat roll 20.
Oh my goodness.
This is the office right here.
Indeed, it is.
Tristan's actually going to is gonna gesture to Kaj, follow Raptor, just keep an eye on him, make sure he doesn't do anything stupid, and he's gonna go investigate the bodies.
I'd back.
All right, Raptor. We'll start with Raptor. Raptor, what are you doing?
Looking around the room for anything that seems. How would Raptor do this? Bloody. Anything that seems bloody.
Roll perception.
That's gonna be 16 plus 13, 29.
You do not identify any bloody bits or droplets or footprints of any kind in the office. It seems to be a pretty Spartan office, a couple pieces of paper. It seems to be mostly accounting books with a ink and quill, along with a plain wooden desk and chair to match. A couple of books here and there. It seems to be mostly accounting books, along with a couple of manuals that depict various types of milling and carpentry methodologies.
I hop up to whichever book or pile of papers looks the biggest and start flipping through it. And I say, Standy, do these drawings mean anything to you?
I'll step in and take a look and see if I recognize anything.
Roll perception.
That is 31.
Nothing seems particularly familiar. It seems to be mostly just manuals and industrial methodologies to how to split logs effectively, make sure that you have it on the correct degree and plane, and are splitting against the grain and not with, or with the grain, not against the grain. It seems to be what you would expect to be pretty standard reading for anyone that operates a lumber mill.
Do I notice anything out of sorts in the room?
Doesn't seem to be anything out of sorts in the room.
Okay. Raptor, I say we join Tristan then.
Well, suppose these drawings mean nothing then. Thank you for verifying my work, Standy, just as I suspected. Over to Tristan.
All right, and we're going to go ahead and hop over to Tristan. So Tristan, as you walk through the door to the main operating floor of the mill, you are wafted with a stench of rotten fish and meat which assaults your senses. The taste of corrupted flesh and blood coats the tongue and back of your throat. With every step, you kick up a cloud of sawdust, satiated only by puddles of dried blood, which stains the wood floor around the two bodies in the room. What do you do first?
I'm assuming this thing covered in a tarp here that is relatively close by me is one of the bodies.
Indeed, as you move forward towards the first body, you see the body of Banny Harker, which has clearly been removed from hooks on the wall and placed on the floor, then covered with a blanket. With the blanket removed, you can see holes through it on the upper chest and shoulders that pass through his entire torso. His face has been carved away and his lower jaw missing entirely. His chest depicts a 7-pointed star carved into the flesh, with red blood outlined now in thick, congealed black blood turned black.
Do Kosh and I walk into the room to see this as he's uncovering it?
You do.
Holy fuck. Guys, I gotta ask, that wasn't us, right? We didn't do this? We didn't do this, right?
I'm just going to kind of
No,
glance
Raptor.
over
No,
at
we
Raptor
didn't.
and then just kind of glance back at the body.
Oh, thank goodness. That is fucking gruesome, even for us.
I'm going to just silently look over and just say a quick prayer to Iomade. Just quietly, just say something over him and then cover him back up.
I'm gonna go ahead and follow these footsteps and see where they lead.
Yeah.
While you're looking at Harker's body, who's taking a closer look at Harker's body?
I am.
Roll a Arcana check.
I don't think I have anything there. So let's hope I roll high, boys. Don't think I have anything there. I doubt it. Oh no, I have a 1.
Before we continue, anyone else taking a closer look at Harker's body?
Well, I suppose Raptor would glance over at it to make sure that it was not his handiwork.
Yeah, I guess I would before.
Everyone
Following
roll an
footsteps.
Arcana check.
I have a 21. So not 20 plus my 1.
Nice.
19 plus 3 for 22.
And that is 15.
You recognize the 7-pointed star as being the same as the pendant found on Nuala and some other artifacts recently found in your adventures in the past several months. Beyond that, it seems alien, foreign to you.
I'm gonna look to
Like there's other things in addition to the remnants from what the party has encountered, almost as if there were another party being framed in a similar manner.
Rather, the rune is unfamiliar to you.
Okay. Raptor also has no concept of Nuala whatsoever, so I don't think I really get any of this.
Yeah, you don't understand any of that.
Cool.
I'm gonna look to Kaj and give him a knowing look.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Then-
examine for cause of injury, whether or not there's other there's the face thing, but other than that, and the puncture wounds from the spikes, if there's any clear signs of damage, like cause of death.
Roll a medicine check.
Oh hell yeah!
While he does that, I'm gonna make my way over to the body that I'm only gonna assume is Catherine's.
And that is 27.
All right. You find a series of smaller cuts all over the body, made by a human-sized hand with outreached claws or talons. The smell of rotten flesh and meat percolates from these gashes.
So claws is in the same kind that I have. That kind of thing.
Yes. Very similar.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go ahead and check out the bottom body, see if it's the same kind of lacerations.
All right. As you move closer to the second body, you find Catherine's body lying mangled and partially split below the giant circular milling blade, her body broken atop a pile of blood-soaked firewood, hair and bits of flesh thrown from the teeth of the blade to coat the floor and walls around the milling saw. Her once beautiful face, mangled and ripped, now lies covered with a blood-soaked blanket.
Yeah, I'll examine her body for belongings and cause of injury.
Roll perception.
I'm going to investigate the area, see if there's anything I can't tell from, again, been a knight, been a soldier, so see if there's anything that the environment can't tell me that the bodies won't.
Roll
And I got a perception 21.
Okay. Okay, we'll start with Kaj. It appears that poor Catherine fell or was pushed from into the milling blade, which severed her limb from limb, depositing her corpse below upon the firewood pile.
Oh. Any belongings or anything significant there?
You find a broken oil lantern lying beside her body. Seems to be a simple, pretty standard lantern to light your way.
Okay.
Tristan, you roll perception.
Okay, so 24.
You notice a set of footprints going from and to Harker's body, along with a suspicious looking axe which has been wedged into the floor.
Mm-hmm.
One of the sets of footprints seems to be leading towards the timber pier, which outstretches into the milling pond. So here's what I'm going to do.
After Tristan's done, I got a thing as well.
Okay, just a second. So you find what appears to be a suspicious axe, which I've noted right there.
Okay.
Suspicious axe. It's legitimately suspicious axe.
Well, that is most certainly one suspicious axe.
I guess I'll move closer to it. Raptor, do you have something you wanted to do, or should I investigate this axe?
While Kaj and Tristan are doing their thing, after looking at this body, I'm going to look for any signs of rats or other animals that may have been feasting on it since it was killed.
Nice.
Brilliant. Very smart.
Nice.
Roll a nature check.
Oh, baby. 12 plus nature is 11, so 23.
It seems that you find a couple of rat droppings around the body. It seems, and a couple of bits of gnawed flesh on the outskirts of the body. It is your opinion that some, along with small footprints, rat-sized footprints, all around the body, made of blood. It is your opinion that following the murders, perhaps in the wee hours of the morning, the rats that inhabit the mill and surrounding areas took the opportunity to gnaw on the corpse.
Perfect. I would like to find these rats.
All right.
And I'll cast Speak with Animals, 10-minute duration, ask questions, receive answers, etc., and call out to them in rat language. Hello, where art thou?
What do you want?
You see happen this.
Food?
Yes, and how?
Yeah, right away.
What did?
Bad man. Right away.
How look?
Bad man. Right away fast.
Bad man like what?
Like smell like fish. Rat fish. Right away.
Bad man smell like rat fish? What is rat fish?
Rat fish. Rat fish. Rat meat. Bad. Yummy. Rat.
Bad man smell like rat and fish?
Yeah.
Bad man.
Fish, maybe.
Bad man look how? Shape. Like wall or like sawmill?
What mean?
How look? Square or circle? Face.
I'm bad man. Thin.
Thick?
Thin.
Thin. Bad man thin. Bad man smell fish. Bad man smell rat.
Yeah. You got food?
I check my pockets for any food, and I think I find some dirt in my pockets that I throw to the rat.
When I see that, I'm gonna step in, speaking to it, and be like, "Don't eat that, my friend. Here's some salted trout."
The cluster of rats circle in on the bit of trout and begin to gnaw away at it.
Bad man smell like this?
Yeah.
Thank you, friend.
We learned nothing there.
I relay to Tristan and Kaj that the murderer smells like fish and rats and is very thin.
That doesn't exactly narrow it down. That could be any fishmonger in the docksides.
Well, at least we know now where to look, going to the dockside as opposed to the whole goddamn town.
I
That is
suppose.
exactly right.
Now,
Now, wait.
Before we get going, I actually said fish and rotted fish.
Rot. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Fish. So I was
Rotted
right.
Fish, not
Cool.
not rattan fish.
Yeah, I was really
Rotted fish.
confused about the cannibal rat shit going on there.
I mean, rats
Okay,
are
cool.
cannibals.
Yeah. Okay, so rotten fish and thin, correct?
Rotten fish, thin, rotted meat.
Rotted meat. Perfect.
Now, you said that when we walked in, we smelled fish, right?
Yes, the entire room permeates the smell of rotted fish and rotted meat. The
Okay.
sources of this smell seems to come predominantly from the Harker's body,
Mhm.
as well as the suspicious axe.
Okay. Hey, friends. I have an idea. I'm gonna need Puma to help me out with this, so I'll be right back with Puma.
Okay.
But I think that Puma might be able to track down this scent.
All right. Raptor, can you stay here with this? I'm gonna go investigate where these footprints lead.
Sounds good, Tristan. And I turn back to the rats munching on the fish and say, so how's your day going?
Better with food.
I just shoot the shit with rats the whole time.
Okay.
Cool. I'm gonna go get Puma.
I'm going to follow these bloody footprints.
All right. Just a moment.
Just kind of. Tristan goes like really quiet and is just thinking about everything that happened the night before.
All right. So, Tristan, you follow the footprints. Where is it? To the wooden pier. The wooden pier, which connects to the lower level of the mill, stretches out to the milling pond and the Turandarak River. The pier is constructed in an L-shaped hook and to collect floating timbers from the felling grounds upriver. A small pileup of timbers float in the eddy created by the pier. Roll a perception check.
There we fucking go. 26.
All right. You find a set of muddy footprints that lead from the end of the pier into the main room of the milling, of the timber mill.
Mhm.
And a set of bloody footprints that lead from Harker's corpse back to the timber pier.
I got a
Roll-
real quick clarifying question. Harker is the person dead here. It's not Banny.
It's Banny Harker.
Okay,
Harker's his
gotcha.
last name.
Cool. Thank you.
Banny Harker and Catherine Vinder.
Perfect. Thank you.
Tristan, roll a survival check.
Might actually play into things. Oh, yeah. 28.
Nice.
All right, you identify the footprints as being barefoot, not bare feet, but barefoot, humanoid footprints,
Hmm.
which clambered from the pier up into the mill. Yeah, you identify them as barefoot humanoid prints with kind of jetting out claws ahead of the footprint, both in blood and in mud.
This is the same footprints that he was following out are now going back up into the mill.
Right, so you see footprints that lead into the mill made of mud, and then from Harker's body, you see a set of bloody footprints that lead back to the pier.
Is there mud intermingled with the bloody footprints, or?
It seems that they are kind of intermingled together, but they cross in opposite directions. So the mud is kind of facing northwest, while the bloody footprints are facing southeast. So it seems that someone walked in with muddy footprints and walked out with bloody footprints.
Okay, so.
But they appear to be the same footprint. Same claws.
And where does this track end? At the edge of the pier?
At the edge of the pier.
Okay.
I'm going to basically tell Raptor that that I think that basically all my findings. Whoever did this, I don't think they're human entirely.
Well, if they reek like fish and their footprints end on the edge of the pier, I suppose they might be semi-aquatic.
Look at the footprints here. If you'll notice here at the ends, human toes don't do this, nor do elvish toes or any humanoid.
What did the footprints look like at the end?
They have like slight claw marks.
They are humanoid in nature,
Mhm.
but they appear to have claws that jet out in front of the toe marks.
Humans don't have.
Your mic's dead. We
My
can't
mic
hear you.
said?
No, Garrett.
Humans don't have these marks here. They're like claws. Humans don't have toes. Humans' toes don't curl like this, and at least they don't leave impressions with footprints like this.
Well, that looks
Whatever-
an awfully lot like Standy Claw's tracks to me.
We don't know for sure.
Oh,
And
Tristan.
revealing-
Tristan. Did Standy kill these people?
Raptor. Kaj was with us the whole time.
I know, but he's fucking magical. He can deliver gifts to all the children in one night. He can certainly be in two places at once. Did Standy
Raptor?
kill these people?
Why would he kill them?
Tristan, I don't know, but he gave me some shitty willow, and I don't know if I trust him anymore.
Raptor. If you don't trust him, that's fine, but trust me.
Tristan,
Husband-
it was either Kaj or another Standy Claws? But there couldn't be two.
If it comes down to the imposter Standy, we'll dispatch them rightly.
Did you just say I have to kill Standy Claws if he did it? I can't.
No.
Tristan, I can't.
I didn't say that Kaj was the one who did this.
So you're saying there's another Standy Claws?
I'm saying that there's somebody pretending to be Standy Claus.
That actually makes a lot of sense. Standy Claus probably has helped to deliver all the gifts in the same night.
Mhm.
Maybe there are some not quite real Standy Clauses that help do it. But why would a Standy Claus murder these people?
Why would a sworn sword betray the man he swore his oath to?
Tristan, I am approximately 12 years old in maturity, and that makes no fucking sense to me because that's way too philosophical. Just tell it to me straight, Tristan. Are there more than one standing clauses? Tristan?
Raptor.
Tristan?
Raptor. In my homeland, we believe in a man known as the spirit of the solstice. He is a figure very similar to Santa Claus, if I'm led to believe. However, the spirit of the solstice, who goes around leaving gifts for the children who have lived rightly for the year, is really simply he's a mythical figure. He's not actually real. He's a legend. The gifts that are provided to children are really just their parents or their caretakers, under the illusion of being this spirit of the solstice. And I think in your own culture, Standy Claus is to you what the spirit of the solstice is to my people.
So, what you're saying is your people have no idea how the world works, and you make up myths to explain it because you don't understand how Standy Claus works.
Tristan bites the back of his tongue to prevent him from saying anything really sharp and really hurtful.
Raptor says, very well, I suppose we can dissect the trauma this will cause me later, and jumps over the water and turns into a fucking shark and follows the trail in the water as best as he can.
Tristan is just staring.
Roll a perception check.
Awesome.
Which one of us?
Raptor.
Less than ideal. That's going to be, I believe, yes, 18.
You kind of go in and out, up and down the bank of the river, but from below the surface, you are trying to find any hint of clues that might lead you to areas of interest, but you really don't find anything. It seems that the current of the river has pretty much washed away any perceivable trail from the riverbank, not from the river, from under the river.
Okay. I do that for my minute duration. I come back to the shore and turn back into a ferry.
All right.
Real quick, where are we on the Sandpoint map? What are we near right now? Mill Pond?
So if you look at the mill pond, you'll see kind of that big outstretched L. That is the timber pier that Tristan is currently on, and a bunch of kind of logs in front of that. That's where number 25. That's your. That is the Sandpoint lumber mill.
Okay, and the footprints are going off the north side of that L dock?
They are heading. They're kind of heading on pretty much pretty square east of the entrance of. Yeah, they're pretty much heading square east of the entrance to the timber pier. So if you see kind of that little outcropping of kind of to the west on the eastern side of the bank.
Yes, that little rock formation on the opposite side of town. Okay, on the the east side of town. Like it appears to go across the river off the edge of If they were to come straight out of the mill, did they go straight off the dock or did they turn left or right?
It looks like they pretty much went straight west from the exit or entrance exit of the mill from the riverside.
Okay, so over to the forest as opposed to towards town.
Yeah, towards the forest.
Okay. Cool.
Like you see that little outcropping, that almost peninsula kind of.
Yeah, okay.
That's kind of where it's leading.
Gotcha. Cool. I tell Tristan, there ain't nothing in the water. And then I'd walk back in to the mill slowly after Tristan just watched me turn into a fucking shark, swim for a minute. My exit was beautiful. I jumped out of the water as a shark and then in my arc trajectory in the air turned back into myself and landed on the dock. Said very casually, nothing in the water, and then walked back inside.
All right. While he was in shark mode, what was Tristan and Kaj doing?
I'm grabbing Puma and then coming back.
All right, so we'll do Tristan. What are you doing while he's?
I'm taking a closer look at the axe. I'm going to see if I can't, I know weapons, and see if I can't discern origin or kind of, take a closer look and see if the murder weapon can't tell me, or the suspicious weapon can't tell me anything.
All right, you find a suspicious-looking axe which has been embedded into the wood floor between Barry Harker's body and the log splitter. At a glance, it looks like there is something on the wood handle. Roll a perception check.
20, not natural.
You find that the wood handle is covered with bloody handprints. They appear to be small, like that of a petite woman or a large child. The axe head emanates a ghastly stench of rotten meat and fish. Stuck to the iron blade are bits of bone and flesh. Also, roll a fortitude save.
Fortitude save. Oh god, I hope I'm not about to puke. Cool. Oh, sweet. That's a 30.
All right, you managed to kind of hold back the kind of vomit feeling in the lower pit of your stomach as you smell the just enormous amount of rotting flesh and fish emanating from the axe blade. It seems to be the strongest source of this kind of rotting flesh smell in the entire room.
Okay, then. Well, when Puma gets here, I know what you should smell for the set.
Also, roll a religion check.
Damn, rolling all the checks today. I got nothing. No, I got 2. That's a 14.
Don't see anything more.
So where exactly is Raptor right now?
So I think at this point, Raptor pretty much emerges after you examine the axe. He emerges from the waters, saying, "Nothing in the water."
Damn, so Tristan was inside, so he didn't even get to see my beautiful exit out of the water.
Listen,
Seems like he missed
already
it.
Tristan's already had to shit rock today. He doesn't need.
Meanwhile, Kaj, it's about this point you arrive back with Puma.
Hell yeah.
And you should
Uh, can I
have
have
control of
control?
Puma's token.
I don't.
You do not? Try now.
There we go. Hell yeah. Well, what did I miss? You don't find anything?
Nothing in the water.
This
Okay.
the footprints. They're humanoid, but they have claws on the end of the toes. I guess not unlike yours. And I point to the axe and like the handprints on this. They're small. They're dainty. They're not like my hands. I kind of hold out my hand, not on the axe, but like for reference, like showing that my hand's bigger. It's like they're hands that either belong to a small, to a woman or a child. But I can't imagine a child doing anything this ghastly.
Interesting. I'm gonna examine the footprints, see if they actually are the same as the kind that I leave.
So as you match your footprint against it, it seems that the footprint here is a bit longer and narrower than your footprint. Your footprint is a bit more feline in nature. This is a bit more, even with its jetted claws, this one is a bit more humanoid, but elongated and narrow with jetting out claw marks.
Do I have any experience with any creatures from the woods like this, like werewolves or anything like that?
Roll a knowledge and lore check.
I would also like to know if Raptor's aware of any were-squatches walking around out there.
Yeah, roll a straight lore check.
I got 12.
13.
Give me a second. I don't know if I have anything in lore. Oh, one. I got an 18.
Tristan, you have a recollection of maybe a story or a fairy tale of some sort of a monster or creature that would go after children if they were being naughty. That kind of rings true, but at the same time, you just recall it as maybe it was just a bedtime story that you were told just to keep you quiet at night, and maybe has no no connection with the scene that you're currently looking at. Kaj and Raptor, you're pretty much aghast at anything that you're seeing, and you don't really recall anything off the top of your head.
There was a story from when I was a child about a monster that would carry off children in the night if they wouldn't stay abed. Take it to the forest, and children would never be seen again.
Interesting.
Tristan, as we established moments ago, your people don't know shit about the way the world is because you don't think the Santa Claus is real. So this is definitely another bullshit story, and most certainly a dead end. Let's just go to Scarnetti's house.
Notice that my people are still on still on the apex of civilization, while yours are still scratching on trees in the wood.
Raptor does not like that.
Tristan turns on his heel imperiously and walks away. Like, just says that, then turns around like, let's go.
Yeah.
Tristan, I'm sorry for that comment. I really want to solve this mystery because there is a lucrative reward involved for me, myself, and I. So please do continue telling what you had to say because I would love the secret confiscated stash of drugs. I apologize for the inconvenience.
Tristan looks slightly over his shoulder and says, well, you did reside in the woods for your entire life. Do you know anything about any creatures who could fit that description?
Should I do a nature roll here?
I'll ask both of them.
Roll a nature check.
Oh yeah. Ooh, that's a nat 20 for 31.
I have a dirty 25.
Dirty 20.
The only way a 25 can be nice and dirty.
Ooh.
I sure hope you don't have a nat 25.
Yeah, dirty 20 just means that you got a 20 without rolling a nat.
Yeah.
You both recall a story of a fiendish creature that lurked in the night. Behind it, it would leave a lingering stench of corrupted flesh, of a body, of a dead body, that was neither rotting nor alive, but rather a corrupted undead. The story comes to the forefront of your mind as you take in all of your five senses and ponder on the scene before you.
Well, Tristan, I seem to remember something very similar to what you're talking. Would leave this stench behind like this. I think that this might be a great opportunity for my good friend Puma to sniff this problem out. If this creature, as I believe to remember, leaves behind such a stench.
I turn to Kaj and I give him an elbow bump and I say, well, I guess we know who pinned that man to the tree and wrote "Don't fuck with wolves" in his chest then, eh? It was this creature, huh?
No, that was us.
Oh, fuck, that one was us, huh?
I'm gonna look to Kaj and say, start with the axe. It's where things are the most pungent.
Very well. I'll usher Puma over to give the axe a good sniff.
All right. Puma comes to your call, and upon your prodding and presenting of the axe head, she sniffs at the axe, repulsed by its stench. She has a feat on tracking, doesn't she?
I don't think it's specifically on tracking. If I mark the target as prey, which by the way I am right now,
But you can't identify it as prey.
I believe I can because
I don't know.
Oh shit! Did I copy paste that part?
Motherfucker's got a loophole.
What was the name of that feat?
It's on page 167-ish. Like at the beginning of the hunt prey feat, it says the conditions. Either I need to be able to see it, or I think it's just that them tracking it, or something like that, or that I have an idea of where it is. Maybe
What was the name of that feat?
it's just hunt prey on like the first couple pages of the ranger class. Let's see. He doesn't blah 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 blah.
You must be able to see or hear
the prey, or you must be tracking the prey during exploration. So while we're exploring, looking for the prey, I am tracking it. I have footprints. I have a scent.
You get
Nice.
a bonus. Puma does not.
Yes. But however, if you refer down to my animal companion, my hunt prey, your animal companion gains the action's benefits, and your hunter's edge benefit.
Okay, fine.
Hey Garrett, are you trained in persuasion? Because you fucking should be. Well done.
So Puma.
That'd be a +2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Puma has the scent within 30 feet thing. So if we're in 30 feet, she'll for sure detect it. I don't know if that means that we need to wander aimlessly until we get within 30 feet of our target, or if we can just start tracking using scent.
Well, I have a plan for that, eh?
Oh, yeah?
I done reckon whatever the fuck did this swam across the river approximately over yonder. And I point to the little almost peninsula that I think the thing went to.
That's as good a place to start as any.
Take your friend over there, and I suppose that is it he or she, Puma?
She.
I suppose that she can find a track sent there.
So you're presenting the axe to her at the sawmill? The axe head?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll take it with.
We'll go ahead and roll a survival check.
Is that me rolling it?
That'd be Puma rolling it.
We're both tracking. We're just helping each other out. Because she's using the scent, I'm using the, I'm looking for broken branches or footprints or any of the other standard tracking stuff.
Go ahead and roll a survival for one of you. Whoever has the highest.
It's absolutely me. Survival. And that is 22 without any additions. So 23 with the hunt prey, and then anything else that Puma gives me.
All right. Between the two of you, you managed to... What was that? Between the two of you, you managed to track the bloody set of footprints from the inside of the sawmill to the timber pier. Puma kind of sniffs around and then points across the river to the other side of the bank towards the peninsula that jets out from the other bank side. What do you do?
Well, let's go then.
All right. So all of you managed to swim over to the other side pretty easily. It's a pretty slow-moving river.
I turn into a shark again and ride everybody across.
Okay.
Everybody hops on me and we ride across.
Is that a fucking cantrip?
No, it's a spell, so I'm eating up some spell slots, but it's worth it.
Okay.
Tristan just kind of goes.
Hop on, fuckers! I
And
turn
hops
into
on
the
the
shark and I ride everyone across.
All right. On the other side of the bank, you find a dry spot with the very same footprints kind of circling about. A barefoot humanoid track with outreached claws. The track itself elongated, longer than any normal human, and made a tad bit thinner. Everyone that's looking at it, roll a survival check.
Ooh,
28.
that one.
15.
So 12, but it's a nat one.
Tristan?
28.
Nice.
And Raptor, what was yours?
15.
All right. Kaj very proudly and very boastfully says, "It leads to the sawmill." Tristan and Raptor, however, notice that the tracks actually lead back into the water. The footprints seem to jet out and then back to the water's edge, leaving no trace behind. Though in following the footsteps, you notice that there is a direct line of sight between the very patch of dry ground you are standing on and the sawmill, which would be which is easily camouflaged by reeds and needles.
Look, Kaj, what about that?
No, it was the sawmill. It was the
Okay.
sawmill.
While Kaj is intent on the sawmill, I'm gonna kind of poke Raptor and be like, "You see that over there?"
Senile in his old age, is he? Might need to be a new standing clause here soon. I will put my application in. Sorry, what was that, Tristan?
Look over there. It's a small outcropping of land. You miss it if you didn't see if it wasn't for the reeds, but it's definitely there. Look.
I hop onto Robin and I take to the skies and take a peek at what Tristan is talking about, and then come back to him and say, "Uh-huh, oh, I see it."
Let me reiterate. The patch of ground that you are currently standing on that is on the opposite bank of the sawmill, it has footprints that are leading into the dry patch and leading out of the dry patch, with its origin and end being the water's bank.
So we're seeing, presumably from a very dry area where footprints would not be formed. In the wet shit, we see them coming out of the woods and then going back into the woods.
Not the woods, but the water itself. It seems that the creature that you're tracking used the waterway to cover its path.
But it's like a travel and return kind of deal with the prince here.
Whatever it's doing, it entered the river to conceal it, to throw us off its scent.
It seems that the path leads from the center of the river, kind of in the direction of the ocean, to your current location and then back to the same location. So this is both the start and the end of the trail. This is where this trail begins and this is where the trail ends.
And we're on the shore?
You're currently on the eastern shore of the river, across the river from the sawmill.
Okay.
So it seems to me that the culprit is using the water as transport. Stopped here, waited in the reeds to spy on the mill until a good time to attack, then left from here to attack the mill, and possibly came back, but probably just used the water to get back to wherever they came.
Okay, so the conclusion here is then that whatever thing this was came out of the water, posted up here for a bit, went back into the water towards the mill.
That makes sense to me.
As opposed to it coming from the forest, going into the water, killing people, coming out of the water, and walking back into the forest.
There are no footsteps that lead to or from the forest.
Okay. Is that because it's very firm ground and there might be tracks there, or is it like definitively not?
As you're walking around, even though it's a bit dry, you are still making footprints. Well, maybe not you particularly, but everyone else is making footprints.
Cool. Okay. Well,
It's more like it's just a dry patch where you could hold tight for a bit.
well then, gents, I suppose, since we are in a bit of a pond here, I do reckon that whoever done this probably came from the north. Wouldn't make much sense to come from the south and not post up on that peninsula over there. And I point to the left and southward towards the very significant peninsula.
Let me clarify again. You are on the dry spot is on the peninsula.
This like big
You're
ass one that's south. Okay, so like if you walked halfway out the dock and then made a right turn, is that where we're at?
Yes.
Oh fuck. Okay.
The dry spot, you're standing on that little peninsula area.
Okay.
So it looks like
And
steps are coming from the south, downriver, and then
Okay.
they're both coming to and going from the south downriver, kind of towards indirectly towards the ocean.
And the tracks that were on the dock were coming off the top right portion of the dock
They were coming. The images.
of the straight section.
Yeah, they were coming towards the peninsula. The
Okay, so
image there is not perfect. The footprints kind of lead in the direction of the peninsula. So it looks.
So they
okay.
came from the peninsula. They on the peninsula. They got in mud, went to the dock, made the mud prints,
and then
made blood prints coming back.
Okay, but we do only see one set of tracks here, which
Other than your tracks, you only see one set of tracks, correct? But
So-
they're kind of overlapping. Like the dry
Right.
spot that you're in, it seems that there's quite a bit of overlap, and maybe as many as 50 or 100. No, probably as many as a couple dozen tracks that overlap each other.
okay, so hypothetically this person got onto this peninsula from somewhere, hung out here for a bit, and then went to the dock and then killed those people. But we don't see another distinct set of prints to imply that they then came back to this peninsula. So their one stop here was either... Is there blood in the footprints?
There does not appear to be blood in the footprints.
Okay, so they came here before they killed the people, then they fucked off to who knows where.
Well, the blood footprints lead out back to the pier. So there's blood footprints on the pier also.
Okay, so the blood footprints lead towards this peninsula.
They lead farther south, back downriver.
Yeah, so they came from
Okay.
downriver.
Okay, they came from the south. Southward we go then? Down to the Sandpoint Bridge?
I think so. Like maybe to the pier as well.
Oh, yeah.
All right, is that where everyone's going?
Let's go south, yeah.
It's the only lead we got at the moment.
All right.
And I'm taking Puma, who, if we get within 30 feet, theoretically, if I understand correctly, will recognize this scent.
All right. I think that is where we're going to end tonight.
Oh.
A tad bit of a cliffhanger, which is the
Ah.
best way to end these sorts of sessions.
Oh, man.
Make you think about it all week long.
That's fucked up, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I enjoy my DMing job. What can I say?
Yeah, no, well played, well played.
Yeah,
Very well
hell yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Let's see. Thank you so much to everyone watching now and everyone watching on YouTube later. Till next time. Happy Halloween.
Happy
Hell
Halloween,
yeah.
guys.
Raptor wishes you the best.